I'm a merman, not a mermaid.
It's not a reference I get.
Zoolander? You don't get the Zoolander reference?
I've seen it. I don't remember that.
So we've had on our podcast, we got this ongoing thing.
Where
John
I don't get any
hasn't
references.
seen any comedies, John.
I
never
referenced High Fidelity. Tried to get him
which
to
I
watch
watched.
it.
While I was started.
His favorite movie is a John Cusack movie.
Yeah.
Which one?
Better. Better
Better
off
Off Dead.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Wait. Okay. Michael. Do you go by Mike or Michael?
You go by Mike or Michael?
I don't know that one.
I know that one. Yeah. You go by Mike or Michael? It's funny because I got the reference. I still am catching up to what movie that is. You go by Mike or Michael? But I know immediately got it.
Wait, I was a reference in a
I
movie.
thought you were. I'm not Michael. My name's Matt.
Dude, I'm so high.
That's fine. I thought you literally were doing a reference because I was like, I'm just going with it. No, I go by Matt.
So stoned and tired.
That's fine. I'm tired too, man.
Matt, dude, I'm so sorry.
It's all good, John.
Fuck.
It's all good.
Matt and John,
Yep.
Yeah. What's up?
welcome.
Thank you.
John
Thank
Best
you.
Podcast. That was embarrassing first fucking.
I loved it. We've met a few times, but it was always at dive bars.
Yeah,
with
that's no
Cody
excuse. With
taking
Cody,
the conversation, always where Cody goes with it.
Just-
So we were always along for the ride.
this is
Story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world.
is that Eve 6?
It's not Eve 6, dude.
Who's that?
Don't know. It's a one-hit wonder. It's one of those like could be 311, not. Could be Eve 6, not.
You know what song I heard the other day that fucking blew my mind, and I admit it publicly now that I was wrong, but that not Shamrock. What are they called? They sang the Shrek song.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Smash
Smash
Mouth.
Mouth.
Yeah.
That that one that has the intro is like boom bang go gang.
Oh yeah, like the
My name's
on the
Robert.
sun.
Dude, that
Yeah.
riff though, that little like
Yeah.
electric piano, whatever, is such a sick little like progression.
Little boogaloo.
It's good.
It
And I
is.
was like, even though that guy died and I hated all their other songs, that one
That
pretty much fucking rules.
It's a good one. It's a solid song.
So do you guys? So on your podcast, do you guys do? We were just talking about John Cusack. Do you guys talk about a lot about movies on there?
Oh yeah, we actually have
review
a
them?
reference log.
Yeah.
So just so many people have asked, like, you guys reference stuff. Primarily me. At
I
such
say,
a
let's be clear.
rapid
Matt
rate-
references.
at such a rapid rate that we just give a reference log for all
at
the
the end.
philosophy, theology, movie, music that we've referenced throughout.
Oh, okay, so then
And
people
leave
can go
clips
back.
and all
Yeah.
that. And we just literally, I have a presentation like document that I update
Uh-huh.
in our link tree, or
Uh-huh.
at least it will be.
Like a
it's not
deck?
there yet. That literally would just be like reference log episode 1, reference log episode 2, and people can just go, what was that? And just go down and go, oh, okay.
What's the name of the podcast?
It is Vexed and Vigilant.
What's vexed mean?
Vexed is like just very much like me, kind of like worked up. I'm
Is that what that
Yeah,
means?
it's like vexed, like you're just kind of like hot and bothered.
God,
I'm
I'm so
hot and
vexed.
bothered.
You think if I
Vexed.
started using vexed, I think people would know that I don't really know that word.
They would be like, what is your
Like-
problem?
Why is this fucking redneck trying to say?
I'm vexed.
I'm vexed.
We don't have any Vex vapor
I'm not-
rub. What
I'm-
are you talking
I
about?
didn't get no vax. I ain't doing no vax.
Are you vaccinated?
I'm anti-vax.
Vaccinated is fantastic.
Vaccinated. Get
Yeah.
vaccinated on the Vexed and Vigilant podcast.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
That's
Is that audio only or video?
Yeah, audio right now.
For now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's just what we're
Is
doing.
it? Do you guys have like its own? It has its own RS, like anywhere podcasts are. Is that,
Yeah.
or is it like
It's on,
somewhere
it's
specific?
on the Apple. It's on
on
the
the Apple.
Spotify. And not Amazon. We didn't give Jeff Bezos our money.
You
That's
didn't?
enough, no.
Who do you? Sorry, this is inside baseball. Who do you use for your hosting there?
We
Me.
are. He's
I
doing
do
it
it. I
himself.
pay the $20 to put it on Apple, and I know how to do all that. I did it for all my band stuff, so I just was like, I'll do the hosting
Okay.
if I could. And podcast is a lot easier.
Do you? So
than-
I used to use like a service, and it would like post it to everywhere for me.
Yeah.
But it was kind of expensive. It was
That's why I
like
don't.
a few $100s a year. I was like, fuck
Wow.
Who's
this.
really listening on these other services?
I mean, there were people listening. I
Okay,
could
you
see
would-
it.
that's
It would
something-
show.
That was genuine. Like I was like, I just know Apple and
No
Spotify
one-
are the
it-
heavy
okay.
hitters.
It was
Like,
less than 100, so it was
Okay.
not a lot.
yeah, that's why I'm like, I'll just start because I'm not one to think like well, I am one to think that like I get very excited about what I'm doing, and that can get me a little delusional.
Yeah.
But I think I've learned enough in my 35 years to be like, let's just start with the big ones. We'll do Apple, we'll do Spotify for now, and then if it gets to a point where it's like, you would be foolish not to get those 95 to 100 listeners elsewhere that you could have pulled or any more than that. We're happy to do so. But
Okay, cool.
we feel we got to kind of earn it.
Vexed and
Vigilant.
So is one of you vexed and one of you vigilant?
I kind of do see it that way because I
have not seen it that way.
Well, I kind of do like I grew up in theater, so The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in theater, dude. So I think of like The Odd Couple, where you have like Felix Unger, who's more of the like, well, he dresses a lot like John.
I would say I think the outfit might.
And you have Oscar, who's the like sports journalist, laid back guy, but who's kind of a slob and crazy. That's me, and so I do kind of I've always thought that was like the fish out of water story of like two fishes out of water having to find a way to live out of water is like
as
kind of
fish.
fun. As fish in the city in an apartment together. Rent isn't cheap, but neither is their sanity.
You guys don't live together, do you?
No, I'm married with 4 kids.
Yeah, I was
and
like,
he
doesn't
even live in Lexington.
Yeah,
Where do you live?
Lawrenceburg's the closest city.
Lawrenceburg.
He lives in Lawrenceburg.
Yeah.
I've been out there. I used to live in Danville.
Okay, yeah.
For like
so I'm
6 years.
close. Yeah, out that direction.
Kind of that way.
The bugs are bigger than people.
There's nothing out there. Really.
No. There's nothing by us.
That's cool. So how many episodes do you guys have?
Right now, you are going to be the
we're
4th.
No, this will. Yeah, this will be 4. This will be 4.
Hell yeah, dude.
We want to get out there. So John and I are both 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Ooh, that could have been a good topic.
That would have been great. Well, but
wait, what do you mean? It would have been.
It's
Could
happening
still be
right now. Cody would be pissed. He'd be like, he even thought when I was like, Cody, you want to be on the podcast? And he'll be coming up here. Our buddy Cody, everybody.
Is he
Shout
coming?
out Cody. Yeah, he'll
will
be on.
yeah.
Later?
Yeah, he's going to be on it later.
Fuck! I don't have I only have. We'll have to like.
Oh, no,
share.
he's not
No.
coming here.
Oh shit!
Oh, no, I know. I got you hyped.
I was like, fuck, Cody's coming.
Yeah, no, my name's Matt, by the way.
Scrody.
But no, I got Scrody Cody. We love Cody. Hey, I love
Cody's the
love
man.
Cody, and that's our buddy Cody, and he will be on. And he thought he was going to talk about the Book of Revelation. I was like, hell, no.
Gosh.
I was like, I'm not bringing you on for that. We would get so lost in the sauce, dude. We would no.
Are y'all
No.
Are y'all like Bible scholars?
No.
No.
So our whole thing
That's kind of the
this,
point. Yeah.
is like we are just laymen of the church, meaning we're just like in the pews. We're
Yeah.
not pastors. We're just I've been going to church since I was a kid. I've been in and out of the faith. John, your story is
Similar.
Yeah, similar.
Less in and out, but
Yeah.
grew up in church.
Same. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
totally.
we kind of wanted to though.
Ooh, this is fun.
Just get out and just find out. We're pretty getting firm in our beliefs as we get older, but we also still feel there needs to be interfaith discussion. There needs to be discussion with other people to make sure that we're also just actually living our true faith, which is to be out there in dialogue and love with all. If you believe that everybody is an image bearer of God, then talk to everybody. Then,
For sure.
but
yeah.
do it in a way that's like really wanting to know their story. Unfortunately, in today's world, it does appear that it's
such
like
a closed door church
hey,
nowadays.
Yeah, can you fall in line with these beliefs, please?
Mm-hmm.
It's no organic conversation happening just among people. Like, hey,
Yeah,
I don't know. John and I don't agree on things.
Yeah.
We're in the same church together. We don't agree on things.
What's your denomination of church?
Non-denominational, which is so it's funny. The two growing like wings of the church right now, right? Like if you see it as like a house, and there's always like different wings of the house.
Yeah.
Like a big manor, like a big haunted house. I
Like
was thinking
a
like a big
like
old
a
ancient
plantation, maybe.
No, those are the Christian nationalists. They try to turn it into that, and we go, no, guys,
We're not doing that.
go, no.
There's something
we're not doing it.
There's something I have to tell you.
Welcome to the Christian nationalists.
Like,
no,
pull back
fuck
and just
no.
Banner falls.
Fucking giant eagle.
I felt the need, like in between saying "Welcome to the Christian," like to say no in between, so there could be no clip used of me saying "Welcome to the Christian Nationalist Podcast." No, I know.
You
I
just said
did
it, so now we've got to.
We're
Whoops.
not.
Clip.
No.
Vexed and
there's-
vigilant.
They just got.
That's like code for.
This is how you truly get vaccinated. No. So we wanted to be out there to talk with,
Yeah. That's cool.
absolutely anybody and everybody, and find out their story, and to ask them just
That's
the tough
pretty
questions
cool.
that we're wrestling with too.
Yeah.
So there is that like baseline level of we're not saying we're like above anybody.
Mhm.
We're not even saying we're below anybody. We don't
Yeah.
want people on that we like idolize,
yeah.
and we're like quote unquote idolize, and we're like, oh, we sit at your feet, because no, we don't.
Yeah.
We sit at the Lord's feet. We're believers that God is the only true perfect being. So that's not for us with other people to be like, oh, you've got all the answers, because no,
Yeah.
don't. So we wanted to just open up the conversation entirely.
That's
And
cool.
it's going to get messy. It'll probably get weird on occasions.
We'll probably
but
be wrong on occasions.
we've already been so wrong. We've a couple episodes out, and I was already just like, well,
Were
I've
you
already
like-
had to redact something.
Yeah, we did
Were
episode
you guys
1.
misquoting the Bible or something?
No, so here's what I did. I, spaz out when I
Uh-huh,
talk.
uh-huh.
I get so excited to just be with people in conversation that I will
It's the best.
say things and I'll hit words.
Mm-hmm.
So if I hit the word wrong, it's like a beat, right? It's like ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So I said like, I believe in the Bible parable is primarily parable Bible. And people were like, oh, so he believes that the Bible is primarily parable? And I was like, and then the episode ended. And I was like, uh-oh. I listened back. I was like, yeah, that's not
That
what
is
I
the
believe.
exact opposite.
That's like the opposite of what I believe. Literally what I said on the podcast. So on the second episode, I was already like, so I want to clarify something that I said in episode 1 that I completely disagreed with my own self on.
Yep.
You said it and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
What the? No.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's kind of. Have you ever like been at a gas station or like somewhere checking out and they say thank you? Have you ever said something crazy to them like I love you?
Oh yeah. Oh
I'm
my
like-
gosh.
Actually, I know that's like a bit that like your mom house people they like do it through the drive-thru. But I think I've actually like just thanks I love you or like said something. I feel like I've done that before in my life. Like messed.
Oh, I've been in like middle of the thought and been like, you're not my grandmother.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, hey, have a nice day. Yeah, you have a grandma too.
Hey, grandma.
Like, what? Like, 'cause I was thinking about something
Yeah.
that had to do, that's not right.
I used to live in Japan, and
Really?
when I was in my 20s, and Japanese people don't like touch each other ever, like really.
That's
In
no, I mean, it's your culture.
in
It's
like,
not sad. They got reasons.
yeah, like in just you do like with your friends or your family.
Okay, that's
but-
good.
but
I think I'm just so touchy.
you don't
and that's
shake
what was like, oh,
hands or
no.
like
Yeah.
you don't do a Christian side hug. You don't do none of
Right.
that shit.
You don't even get the Zondervan
You don't even
Z.
get the-
You don't even get
mm-mm.
the side.
You don't get the side love or nothing. You just have to bow. But I did this thing for like a year where I would like, when I checked out somewhere, I would put my hand up to give them a high five, and they looked at me like, what? And I was like, and I said high five in English, which I don't think they know what. I mean, they get it. Five. I think they can understand that. Most Japanese people can't speak English. I was like high five, and they'd look around, but when they yeah, and I had so much fun doing that. Like, I think I really weirded people out, but they're like, "Oh, here's the fat fucking gaijin,
The high five guy.
the fat fucking gaijin,
It's the
High
freaking
five.
sidekick from Bloodsport.
high five
Is here.
high five with fat gaijin." So yeah, it was stupid. I was gonna. You reminded me. I thought you might be a Mormon when you came in, John.
No, I'm not a Mormon. I just
no.
came from the office.
You just came from the office.
No. Although this is how I typically dress.
If you
It is,
if
but
you ever try
yeah.
stand up comedy, that should be your first open. Be like, I'm not a Mormon. I just came straight from the office.
Yeah, that'd be a good.
There we go. Yeah.
What made you get into stand up, by the way? What brought you to that insanity? Which I love that insanity, by the way. But what?
I had some friends. I made some friends that were involved with comedy. I don't know if you know Trina.
No.
A girl named Trina Bean. She's go shout out Trina. And she and I and another girl named Micah did a podcast together, and that's kind of how I learned how to podcast. Like that was my like first time at giving it a crack.
Right.
And Trina was doing stand up, and then Micah did stand up for a little while, and so I would go with him to open mics, and meet people, and then after a couple months, I gave it a shot, and then I was like, okay.
Got
Now
okay
you're
at
open
this.
Then
for
now
Kill
I've
Tony
ruined
homies,
my
right?
life. That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Patreon starting August 1st. Sign up. I'm starting a Patreon.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed, but I don't. I mean, fucking
The
I don't-
worst
I
that
have
can
no
happen
choice.
is you get
Starting
money.
a Patreon.
yeah. So please follow. There's some really good incentives, and it's cheap as fuck.
And all the proceeds go to Christian nationalism.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not doing this money for me. I'm doing this for Christ. All the money that
No,
you give
let's
to
not
me.
confuse.
I was gonna
No,
say,
no,
let's
no.
not confuse
We
Christ
don't-
and
Oh,
Christian nationalism. The sandals are coming off.
See, those are. He's just trying. You're just trying to be like Christ with those sandals.
That's right.
But yeah, that's cool. I grew up in doing church shit too.
What was your denomination growing up?
Baptist,
What? Like, but okay.
Southern
I was saying, 'cause
Baptist,
there's
it
there,
is.
yeah.
I was like,
Southern Baptist. But my grandma was like super into non-denominational stuff and went to like a really kind of liberal, weird church in Nashville. Like half the congregation were like music industry people.
Okay.
Like Chris Gustafson went there.
Okay, so it was like one of those kind of like Christian hippie churches.
Yes,
Like
yes.
that was old school like
Yeah.
art commune.
And it was
Schaefer
very
kinda
weird.
stuff.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the women had long like hair and they kind of dressed like in muumuus and stuff.
Okay.
And-
Whoa, that's different.
I see. That's a
It
different.
I was
wasn't-
like,
wait,
that's
let me-
more fundamentalist. I was thinking like the opposite.
No, it was very free. It was very
Okay.
free thoughts were encouraged. They were nurtured. There wasn't like it was a cool place to go. But also they had church like 3 or 4 hours on Sunday. I was
Yeah.
like, yo,
That's straight Baptist.
we
I
are
would say
not
that is Baptist.
we that's against the law.
You
in
literally
Baptist.
break for lunch.
Yeah.
That is- like the sermon is so long, you go, like, all right, let's all go get lunch,
And I'll come
At
back.
12.
and then we'll come back for evening service.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
go
cool.
back. I mean, I kind of like it actually. You can break it up and watch some football. I like the first hour and a half of music, and then at around 2 hours, they'd start talking. And I was like, yo, 90 minutes is enough.
Yeah.
For any inner comedy, too. I can't watch. I saw Joe Coy at Rupp Arena, and he did 2 hours, and it was perfect. And then he did another 45 minutes, and it ruined the show for me. I was like, this is too long.
That's way
dude.
too long, dude.
Yeah, it was fucking long. But anyway, I don't know how the fuck I really rambled there. But I got into comedy just meeting people who were in it, and it has hasn't ruined my life. I'm very happy, but it's also very hard
Yeah.
because I like quit my
Aren't
job.
all
and
good things though. Like, I mean,
I
that's
guess,
what's up.
yeah.
Like, you're doing it. You're
Keep-
like, man, I guess. I
It's
really
just-
wish it wasn't. I
Uh,
really wish it wasn't.
I mean, I there's no turning back now. I feel like, and so,
You
but it's a lot
chased
of
the
fun.
waterfall.
yeah, I've
You gotta
chased
stick
it
to the rivers and the lakes.
that you used to. I always feel like I'm gonna get AIDS if I sing this song too many
You know
times.
how many people have brought that up to me when they're, I think, sick and tired of me quoting that? They go, "You know what that song's about, right?" And I'm like,
You know
"I
that third
do."
verse? It's about AIDS.
Listen on, you'll find out. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop saying it. Once people bring up what the song's actually about, I know they're done with me quoting that.
They should have had a fourth verse where they lectured what's her name, Left Eye, on not burning down Andre Rison's house.
That would have been very specific. That would have been getting like social woes of America at the time. Left Eye, yo,
Yo,
here's what's going on.
you can't
need
be
to stop it.
burning down Andre Rison's house. No, I think she was pretty pissed. He was probably doing some. He was probably out there.
He was doing.
He was
stuff,
doing.
yeah,
He was
probably.
being. He was probably
We
being
don't
a bad
know,
dude.
but yeah.
Nah, he was a really good receiver. So, you know.
I mean, this is America, and sports forgive a manner of all sins, right? No,
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 no, not anymore.
not like they used to.
Not
Not
that-
the good
not
old days.
anymore.
No.
No, but that was my experience. But I got to high school and I got really into it, and I was like, no secular music.
Okay.
Okay, this is crazy.
Over back to church.
This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but we would like break CDs of like Christian bands and shit. or secular bands.
Oh, secular bands. And
So
stuff.
like, yeah, so like we'd have like I don't know how many times I broke the same Operation Ivy CD. I probably broke it 3
Out come
different.
the wolves.
No, it was not Rancid. It was Operation.
Oh, you're
Ivy.
right.
It was like the
sorry. There goes my punk status. Oh no,
whole poser.
Poser. Yeah, Out Come the Wolves is Rancid. Whoops. Operation
Well, that's
Ivy's
actually
is.
Rancid.
I know. There's so many people that are just gonna be like, actually.
Well, they had a bunch of different recordings, and then they kind of put them all together on one thing.
You're right. Yeah.
And it has the guy.
Yeah, it's just the guy skanking.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cover, yeah, black and white.
That one, I broke that probably 3 times.
So then
Just
I gotta
'cause-
ask.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Christian like metalcore band?
Probably it's Zayo for sure.
It's got to be Zayo. Thank
Zayo
you.
fucking rips, dude.
Oh my
They're
gosh,
so good.
yes.
I made my girlfriend listen to Zayo the other day. She was like, I like some of this. It's
So
very
good.
aggressive.
It's all good.
Yeah, dude. I love Zayo.
New Zayo still good.
There was a band, and I only really like one or two of their albums, but they released an album in I think 99 called is it 90 or 99 called Reborn, Living Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, I listened to that recently. It's so fucking great.
So
it's
much of it
such
holds
a
up.
good record, dude.
It holds up.
To anything, I'm like, it sounds great. The dude who recorded it did the Zayo stuff. He did Juliana Theory.
Yeah,
Y'all-
yeah.
Were you a fan of them?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, they
Singing all
all
that.
got. Apparently, we're now finding out how bad the like tooth and nail contracts were. Like,
Oh yeah,
more and more
yeah,
is coming
yeah.
out to why like it,
I haven't.
disillusioned a lot. Like Juliana Theory, the guy just released a video talking about how bad their contract was.
What was he saying?
He was just like basically they would find out their stuff was in movies, and they would have friends
Oh, and
call
no
them
money from
and
it.
be like, "Yeah, hey, it was great hearing your song in that like recent episode of One Tree Hill." He was like, "Cool, no idea." And they just made no money whatsoever. Off
That
of it.
sucks,
And
dude.
most tooth and nail bands really didn't.
Brett Dieter, Guitar. I don't know how you say his name. He's a really good songwriter.
Yeah.
That's like one of the only times I met him once in Nashville when they were recording at a studio I used to intern at, and it's one of the only times I've met someone like of any notoriety that I like kind of freaked out. Like I was like, I love you.
mine
I was
was
like,
Steve
I
Albini.
fucking love you.
Yeah. No, that's
You met Steve Albini?
well. Okay,
Rips,
I
King.
messed it up. I know. Rest in peace, Steve.
Did you? You didn't kill him, did you?
No, it wasn't me. I would never. That man is a national treasure. I would have
He's
protected
amazing.
him at all costs.
He's awesome.
I was living in Chicago at the time.
Nice.
I went to see Shellac at Metro, I think, or it was at Lincoln Hall. I think.
Okay.
And afterwards, I didn't know this was going to happen. They tear down the set in their last song, like they're like literally frantically tearing it apart while they're like hitting chords. It's badass, and they're doing that. And then literally Steve comes out and just pulls a bunch of shirts out of a box or like turns them over on stage and goes, "Who wants one?" or $20. And I was like, "Oh my god!" I went up there and there's Steve with just like a sprawled out box of shirts, and I was just, what do I say? Because I'm meeting, dude, like top of the top tier of idols of my life. I was like, great show, man. And that's all I got. And he was just like, thanks. Like, he's been told a million times. Probably was, it's still a good show. It's a good show. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, of course, I wanted to tell him like how much it meant to me, like In Utero with Nirvana growing up, and like then getting into like just Zayo, his recording of Zayo, The Fear Is What Keeps Us Here, and like all that stuff that went into that documentary that you got, in the Trustkill. Like,
Oh yeah.
I got the CD DVD combo, and I would watch Steve Albini clean the windows as they were like, he was making fun of their greasy heads. He's like, "Oh, you metal guys got greasy heads," That was just,
That's funny.
you
I mean, I don't know. I think that may have also been a lot for him to get right up there on stage telling. If you were like, if you said all that to him, I think
yeah,
The Great
yeah.
Showman is actually
Far more concise.
probably the best thing you could have said. I know in the moment it didn't feel cool,
no. Yeah.
but
I wanted
I
to have
feel
the
like-
perfect thing to say to Steve Albini.
you wanted to
Yeah.
connect. I get
didn't
it.
have
I get it.
I didn't have it, man.
God, I bet that was a killer show, dude.
It was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Shellac. Don't they play? I feel like I've seen pictures of him playing those guitars that are was it like Travis Bean or whatever. Do you know? What
I
I'm
don't
talking about?
know.
Like an
I only know the
aluminum
way
neck.
he wore. Yes, I think he definitely plays an aluminum.
Yeah, they're
But
weird.
the way he wore it was the weirdest because he had like no strap, he wore it all around his waist. So he had like a girdle. He wore it like that, and then he just had it on with no strap. That it just sat there on his. Just
it had like
groin.
a holder.
Yeah, it was a holster girdle that he wore like strapped around his waist, and that's how Steve Albini played guitar, and that's how he just did it, and it was the most unique thing I had ever seen.
Do you play?
No.
You play guitar? You're a
I was a vocalist.
You're a vocalist, dude. Yeah. Did you guys do Holler at Doom this time?
No.
No.
Yeah. You guys asked that one time. We did it one time, and we pissed them off, I think, so much with our just noise. And it was when we had the drum machine still. So it was just these like just going over noise music, and everyone's just like, "What the hell?"
And they put you guys on it like
no, we were first
3:30,
yeah. And we were just first, and everyone was just like,
PM.
Chill out.
It was 100 degrees,
yeah,
in a swamp.
Oh my gosh! And Cody's breaking his bass, like
it
he's in
funny, dude.
Place to Bury Strangers, and he's just we were just like, "This is This is the opening act."
Oh, I loved it.
Thank you.
I loved it. Because I appreciate crazy. I like that kind of shit. Just
and we were just there to agitate.
Chaos. Yeah, it's fun.
And the guy apparently he was like, I'll never. He has since we're cool with him. I forget what his name is. He's a really cool guy. I've met him recently a couple of different times. Sorry, I can't remember his name. But he was just like his first time he had mic'd a noise band and was like, I never want to do that again. He had like said somebody, and it got back to us that dude, the sound guy was like traumatized by your guys' set.
That's very funny.
But I was just like, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's funny.
But
is it Corporate Mascot?
Yeah, it's Corporate Mascot.
Are y'all playing anytime soon?
We're breaking up actually.
Fuck, why?
So we've been together for a long time. It just kind of came to where most of us were just heads in different places, and Cody and I will probably carry on doing a duo again. Something weird and something that was kind of the original impetus of Corporate, but going in a different direction. Sick. And we just kind of felt it was time. We did one really good album that no one listened to.
Hey, I listened to it.
Hey, thank you.
I'll listen to it.
Thank you.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on everything.
Okay.
That one we did do through CD Baby, so it's everywhere. And I'm proud of that album. And I just kind of was like, I'm cool.
Did Laura play drums on that?
Laura did play drums on that.
Fuck
She's actually, shout out Laura. She is the reason the album has the title Overnight Water, because Cody was like, I want to improvise something. And I had these lyrics I've been sitting on forever. And I was like, sure, just go. We were recording. It was over at Eric McMyrick. Shout out Eric McMyrick. And it was like, yeah, just hit play. Let's go. And Laura, right before we did, picked up her water bottle and just went, overnight water. And like, because she had like grabbed her water bottle and left like basically to come record, and it was like her overnight water. And right after I heard that, Eric turns to me and goes, I need a title for the song. And all I had was lyrics like that I'd been sitting on that I really wanted to put to something. So I just went overnight water. And it actually fit really well. It gives it this very like, oh, what's the song? Because the song is about it not really being about what it's about. So the whole song is like saying, this song's no longer about this. It's really about this. And it keeps changing its meaning as it goes through to like frantically mean something else because the person's dodging what it is really affecting them and meaning to them, the character in it. And so I just went, Overnight Water is like perfect because it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And then that's why no one listened to our shit, because they were like, what the hell is going on?
We don't get it. We don't understand.
And they're talking about being vaccinated. I'm very confused.
We didn't get vaccinated around here. We don't do that.
You guys are finishing up a final tour, though, right?
We are. We are doing the Tom Waits, the little regional Tom Waits, Lexington Waits, Cincinnati Waits.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we
cool.
do that, and we're excited to finish up with that. And we'll probably have a farewell show.
Hell yeah, I'll try to come, man.
I think it's going to be both of our birthdays. We're going to do Cody's birthday in August as a farewell show, and then my birthday will be the last one in October.
Dude, if you need anybody to play with it,
absolutely.
Got a new band.
You're there, dude.
Got a new band, or we can dust the dust off the pussy of FBA.
Oh my
Not
gosh,
the dust
FBA. That's
hey,
right.
I'll say it right now. FBA fucking ruled.
It was fun. I loved FBA, dude.
But I think it was too OCD. I think I listen back to it now, and I listen to some of the songs, and I'm like, I tried to fit too much into some of the songs, and it worked sometimes, and other times it was like that was too much. Like I could have, but live and learn.
You live, you learn.
I don't know. Do you ever listen to old songs you wrote, like from 10 or 15 or however many years ago, and be like,
gosh.
oh,
Oh,
that's terrible.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever found one of your old like high school notebooks
Oh,
that has
God.
your like
Yes.
old like just starting a metalcore band in high school notebook? I've burned most of them, but
Drawing the Senate logo on everything, even though I
you're
couldn't
just like
get my fat ass into roller
it
skates.
was like stop it.
Yeah, dude.
No. Or seen old Facebook posts when it reminds you of how you were like 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, Matt's feeling verklempt. Like, oh, who was I?
How
By
old
the
are
way,
you?
whose podcast are we recording right now?
I don't know.
I love it.
I think we should just cut it in half
I think so.
and then
Why don't we just use all of it? Why don't we
This
just
is
say
just-
this is a joint podcast? So we're
okay,
just gonna
we
go.
can do that.
Let's just do that.
We'll post it from each one.
There
So
we go.
here's what I want to ask you though.
Yes.
Here's the big question
Do
I
it.
want to present to you.
All right.
Do you think God has a sense of humor?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Life's a huge joke.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of want to know is like, what are your thoughts on like what humor means? Like, why do we? Because we need it. We obviously we almost
Yeah.
need it as much as we need to like breathe air.
For sure. If I have a couple of days where I'm not like either laughing from something I'm listening to or watching,
Yeah.
or I think I get the most effect from it from being around people I love that are funny.
Mm.
Like I enjoy, like my girlfriend and I, we talk a lot and we're both really silly and kind of just being asinine, and that's fun. Or my kids or my roommate, anybody that I like to talk to, just talking like this. It just, I don't know. It definitely like heals something.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if heals is the right word. That sounds pretty fucking gay, but but it is definitely therapeutic.
Yeah.
I guess. And I think God has a sense of humor, and I think whatever God, it.
Okay.
I don't know what God's pronoun.
It's your.
I don't know what
we're-
God's
We're
pronouns
letting you share
are.
your perspective. You don't need to get hung up on
It.
God.
I think
What
God
feels comfortable for you to say? That? Here's another
is-
question, because doesn't
I
that
don't even
affect
know.
if there's an identity that would affect the sense of humor that is had?
I don't even know if I feel like it. I think I used to think of it as like a single entity
Okay.
sort of thing. Maybe that's just because that's the way I was brought up. That's like
Mhm.
a real common archetype to like
Three
latch
persons,
onto.
one being. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
right.
father, son. I never got the whole like mixing it up. I never got the. I mean, I got it. Like, I got the
three
concept of
circles
it,
kind of coming together. Thing.
but it always just felt like one thing to me.
Okay.
It never, like, I was never like people. Sometimes in doctrine, especially Baptist, there was a lot of separation between the three: Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And I'm like, but they're all the same thing. I'm like, well, then fucking call it one.
Yeah, and
call it
Baptist-
all the same thing.
Don't do that well because there is a ton of distinction, and then they just throw that. Well, it's the same though.
Well, it's different, but it's
the same.
They don't explain it, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't know if is that
Giving
true?
me a look.
I'm actually just excited you've joined the conversation because I feel we're
Well, I'm
just.
finally on a topic that
know,
I have a say
which-
for.
That's not
Hell
me.
yeah.
No, hey, I want to state this. That's not me coming from a boy over here. That's me just like, hey, I'm excited. You're like, hey, cool.
I've
Like,
enjoyed the
I
conversation
know,
until now.
but that's the thing. Is like lately, I just want to make sure you are,
No, I'm here.
included in this. I was about
here.
to turn to you and be like, so John, what do you got? And then I gave you the look, and
That was what I got.
that's all I needed to do. But also, apparently, it was too much. I don't know. Now I'm
now I
lost.
feel on the spot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I did that. I admit that I did that. But go on. See, I was enjoying it, but then I gave you a look. Apparently, I didn't know I gave you.
No,
he's talking.
He's like, yeah. No, I get the. I agree that like God has to be humorous because places like this with humor, with these conversations, are definitely where you're right. I don't know that healing is the right word, but
It does something.
it does something
Yeah,
though.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I left church like probably around 18 or 19, and then I tried for a few years to like. I was like, "There's no God, nothing exists. This is it." All that was bullshit because of some of the doctrine that I was taught that was, in my opinion, wrong.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
like I could never really like accept the there's only one way type of thing
Mm.
because I don't know. I've watched someone die and it's not. In that moment, I was like, "Oh, I have no fucking clue what happens after that. I know what happens up until then, but I don't know. But I've come to peace. I know what I said did not make any sense. But the whole monotheistic, like,
You're on the right podcast because I
Yeah.
will ramble on. There's no judgment here on like
it just does. I can accept parts of it, and sometimes when I'm like trying to center myself or like not freak out or whatever, and if I whatever pray or whatever you want to call it, I'll still use the same like, Christian
formula for,
or like Christian imagery even,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like, it's almost just like, the polar bears on Coca-Cola commercials at Christmas. They just go with Christmas. You know what I mean? Like it's just a character
yeah,
to help me like sort of calm the fuck down.
because of what you're
yeah,
doing.
You're like, oh,
imagery.
that Hershey's commercial with the
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's back. Okay, we're
It
good.
could easily be
It's
anything.
Christmas time.
If that would have been
Okay.
what they showed me in church, that's probably what I would think of now.
Okay.
But I definitely believe I've really like the past couple years, sort of like come to feel and understand something, and I do try to listen and be receptive to it. But then also I'm like stupid and I like don't know what the hell's going on at the time. So yeah, that's
Yet
where I'm
again.
at.
We're in the same
I
boat.
was-
So I'm not. I
Do
don't
you-
want to be a scholar. I just don't.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't
like,
even.
I'm-
Yeah. care.
There's. That's not.
Which
it's
one
too
do
much
you
responsibility.
John? Are you of the two you guys? Which one's like the bigger scholar? I guess.
Oh, Matt, by far.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I say despite
figured you with
no,
the
no, no,
suit
despite
on.
despite what we're wearing, Matt is 100% the scholar of the two of us.
I was actually studying to be a pastor
Yeah.
at one point.
Ooh.
I
Why,
was gonna say yeah.
I was.
all right, here we go. How many books in the Bible? Don't think about it.
Okay, so we'll get into this later. But
Wrong.
60 something.
That's the thing. It's 66, but then all the Catholics that are watching right now are like, hey,
It's actually-
hey, it's 70 plus. I think
Yeah.
it's like 72.
Oh,
or
they have
74.
extra books.
They got
Yep.
the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
So they got the Apocrypha, but the Baptists and the Protestants,
We don't.
we got 66 because those are the ones that reference each other and are like the
Yeah.
historically.
What's your favorite
66.
book?
Mine's it says on our
So I was
profiles. I,
gonna
realized
say-
I put Hebrews, even though in our last episode
He said
I kinda-
Ecclesiastes.
it is Ecclesiastes.
Okay.
Mine is the written by Solomon. That is the whole what's the whole point of all this? It is the very
Solomon. He was an Old Testament king.
Yep.
Yep. He's the wisest man of all.
Wise guy. He was a real wise guy. Does that mean he's a
wise
comic?
guy.
He's a
Probably.
guy.
Actually,
I
well,
would say-
Ecclesiastes is considered a satirical. It
Yeah.
has satirical stuff in it. Like it is where, like you can point towards early use of satire
Ooh.
is in the book of Ecclesiastes. Because the whole thing is like I've done everything. What's the whole point of all? It literally kind of reads just a little bit, and I don't mean this. I mean this lightly. No disrespect. It has elements there where you could see where Seinfeld kind of.
Oh yeah.
It does have just a poquito touch of like that, like.
I mean, he's a Jew, so he would be in the Old Testament
Wow.
too. He'd be. That's where he'd be reading. is what I'm
That
saying.
is his scripture.
If Solomon was in the New Testament, different act probably.
It would have more Greek feel. It would have more of that.
Well, he couldn't read it because can't read the New Testament.
They had the Septuagint.
What?
Septuagint.
I say that wrong every time I
yeah.
say it.
Y'all
I
are
need to
getting
stop saying that.
Bible nerd.
We
It's-
have been requested for definitions. I got that request today
Oh, really?
for some of the words we use. So
How about phonetic sound out so I can learn how to say these words myself?
How about
Golgotha?
Golgotha?
How about we all get vaccinated? Okay, the joke's dead. It's dead. It's been said too many times. I've run into them.
Do you like that black metal band Golgotha?
So I've heard them. I have a thing with black metal. I'm going to tell you what's up.
Tell me what's up.
Dude, I got to tell you about
Be
black
honest.
metal. I will be. I, for a long time when I was going through my divorce, I got into black metal hard, but not for the reasons you would think. It literally was because it was this historical, like, just cultural, artistic thing happening
Mm-hmm.
that I found kind of hysterical, but also aspects of it beautiful.
Same.
So it was like so much of it was like, dude, you're all a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And then, but there was like Wolves in the Throne Room or liturgies stuff. I mean, I actually just saw liturgy at Gasa Gasa in New Orleans
That's
on
awesome.
my honeymoon. My wife surprised me. She was like, "Hey, you want to go see the show? It has Big Brave liturgy, I was like, yeah, we're going to see the show, and we went, and dude, it was a stacked show. It was an amazing show.
Dude, that
Liturgy
sounds
was just
awesome.
blew me away,
That's it.
and so all that stuff I really was liking. I was liking like third wave, the stuff that had kind of stopped. It wasn't the second wave, like Lords of Chaos stuff, which that is. I've seen that movie a disrespectful amount of times because of honestly how I can't believe that that's this whole big bunch of guys trying to think they're harder than hard, that you know that they can be the darkest,
Yeah, I
most
watched it.
satanic people ever, and that's what you get. You get a Vice movie of the week. It looks like a Lifetime movie of the week,
Yeah, it's kind of.
and like that's the result of you all trying to be the coolest kid in school, the hardest kid in school. You get one of the Culkin brothers portraying you in
Rory
a film.
Culkin.
You get one of the Culkin brothers portraying you in film. So I got fascinated with black metal.
Yeah.
I've like deep dived black metal. Probably my favorite is like the suicidal black metal, like Leviathan. That stuff.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
talking
I've
like
heard them before.
on a sound level,
Okay.
like on like just the way it sounds will be like like Leviathan, or that's, I think it's suicidal depressive black metal is what it's called.
Yeah, I
Literally is
can't
the
listen to
genre.
it for too long.
I can't either. It
starts to really make
it
me feel bad.
I don't. That's why I stopped. And this was kind of when I was like on the outs with my faith and everything. And I was just absorbing an art. I was just
Yeah.
going too far down the rabbit hole though, where I was like,
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of Japanese grindcore and black metal right now. I wonder why I have a headache. Like, and I've
Yeah.
been like, oh, because you've been doing it for 3 days. Like,
Yeah. It's a.
go outside and breathe.
It can
Like,
be. It can be too much. Like the
Yeah.
fucking. Because you can feel. Because some of that stuff is just so. Like it comes from like such a place of like I don't know, mental illness. I mean, I guess.
pain and suffering.
And it's just
all
like you
that,
could
yeah.
feel it. And I like when I was in college, I would listen to like Cradle of Filth and like all these just really like they were black metal, but they were kind of like weird. Do you know what I'm
It was
talking about?
symphonic.
Yeah,
it was like
gothic, and they were. It was
Children
very
of Bodom.
gory. Oh yeah, that was so good, dude.
Yeah. Well, also shout out Danny Filth. Danny Filth. I know you're listening.
Danny Filth? Is
from
that-
Cradle of Filth. That's the lead
Oh, yeah,
singer. Is
the lead
Danny
singer.
Filth.
Gosh, I hope he's
That's what's up,
listening
dude.
to our
He's
Christian
listening.
podcast.
He's got to be. We did a shout out to Phil Collins.
We
in our
did?
last one. I know he listens.
Phil, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Phil Collins, dude. What's up, Phil?
That was how he referenced it.
feel it coming in the air tonight.
Cinnabon. What?
Does that because Cinnabons look like they have cum inside of them?
Dude, they look like they've got something beyond that. When you really look at one in an airport, it goes beyond that. It looks chemical, strictly like it's.
Yeah, the little Taco Bell ones, the little nuggets of Cinnabon
It looks like something that was melted down in the back of a Kmart.
is good.
It does. They're
are
good. Oh my god.
I gotta stop eating fast. I'm trying to be healthier. I'm trying to
We love
not
Taco
eat
Bell.
fast.
Yeah.
I ate there twice this week, and
I
it's
had it for breakfast.
Tuesday.
That's what's up.
I just
It's
have it for
Tuesday.
breakfast,
You had it for breakfast.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
The
No,
quesadilla.
Okay.
Ooh, the Crunch Wrap.
Breakfast
no,
quesadilla.
breakfast quesadilla. Yeah.
Oh, they have a breakfast quesadilla.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Oh, have you checked? They've updated their like cheap menu.
Yeah.
They have a stacker on there now. Do you know what the stacker is?
No.
It's a huge flour tortilla. It's like a burrito sized tortilla, and it's just the ground beef and cheese.
Yes.
So it's like a chili cheese
So they're just,
burrito.
like, cutting out the bullshit.
Remember
They're
when
just
there was a
lit-
chili
yeah,
cheese burrito
yeah,
they
they're
don't
just
have
like,
anymore?
man,
It's that, but instead of a burrito, they fold it
just
into
don't
like
roll it.
a
that's the way to do
pocket.
it. They're just like not messing around.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like
like $1.50.
So many people have ordered this.
Yep.
We're just
Also,
gonna give it.
rice, bean, and cheese burrito. I think it's $1.79.
Oh, cheesy bean and rice.
God,
It's the
dude.
best thing ever invented
Yep.
for fast food. I could never get sick and tired of the cheesy bean and rice.
It's like it's so good.
It's the perfect. It's the first
I'm getting
Rocky
excited
movie.
thinking about it.
It's the first Rocky movie. If you order 3, you get 3 of the first Rocky movie.
I'm so excited about Taco Bell right now.
It's,
I went there
isn't
Tuesday
it so
and
funny
Monday,
how easy I can get pumped about Taco Bell. Anybody can get pumped about Taco Bell.
Yeah.
and it's
It's
the shittiest
the
food.
magical,
It's so
but
good.
it's the sauce. It really
The sauce
honestly
makes-
is. It's the different sauces they have are so well. You could just literally you could give me a dead mouse
Mm-hmm.
and cover it in creamy jalapeno, and I'd be like, "Oh, this Taco Bell's pretty good."
Mhm, yeah,
Like
that's what you're.
that's
probably
what you're
getting.
getting.
It's close.
Well, you can't say that. I think Taco Bell attacks people for.
Shout out Taco
slandering.
Bell.
Shout out Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
We know you're listening.
What's that say? Are we at 46 minutes already? Jeez, we are
Oh.
cruising,
We're
bro.
cruising, dude. This is
Cruising
what's up. This is having
altitude.
fun. It's all about.
Yeah, I don't. So at your guys' church,
Yeah.
do you like are there people that come to your church who like aren't even like believers who just
Yeah,
come?
so it's actually funny that you bring that up. What kind of started before I was doing this? I actually turned to our pastor, who's like an old. He's an old head. He's an old hardcore guy. He used to play down in Georgia, where he's from, and I can't remember. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm pretty sure he's made mention that like he's been around the scene when Norma Jean was coming up and the Chariot, all that was going
Chariot?
heavy.
Dude, Chariots. I didn't. That's right. This is the same dude, isn't
It's
it?
the same dude. Yeah,
From
it's
Norma Jean?
Skogan, like something Skogan.
And then he did that 68 band too.
Oh yeah, 86.
Was it 86?
86,
One of them.
yeah.
They're fucking
yeah.
good.
They're so good,
They're good.
dude.
So weird.
It's so weird. His stuff is really like all solid all the way through.
Yeah.
Like so good.
Yeah.
But he was just, he's an old head. And then I was talking to him one day. I think it was at some church potluck or something. I was like, you remember when we used to do hardcore shows in churches?
hmm
I miss that.
It was great.
I miss it. So I rent out our chapel. I'm there to kind of facilitate and make sure people don't wander off, you know what I mean, and start messing around with other stuff. Like sometimes people can do, hey, it happens. But I make sure to like facilitate, and we rent out the chapel for hardcore shows. So if you ever see anything around town with Heaven's Gate on it, that's
Is
our
that
church.
Christian, secular, whatever?
Secular, whatever. We had bands touring with Maggot Stomp
Nice.
because we've
That's
been
sick, dude.
like, it's gotten to a level where it's like if there's openings, I try to get them for bookers or
That's very-
primarily one booker. Shout out Austin, to like help facilitate these. Because I wanted a safe space for like all age shows because we live
That's
in
cool.
Bourbonville, so everything's 21 plus or 18 plus. And I was like, I remember when I was going to hardcore shows at the sports complex in my hometown, like saved my life, dude. Like,
yeah.
I would have been out there I would have no fingers from the amount of like M80s I would have just lit and thrown
Just
and
been a dummy.
just been a dummy. And
Yeah.
like going there gave me something to not only do, but to like put energy into.
Yeah,
It's not only
yeah.
just something you're like doing, you feel you're participating.
Yeah.
I remember our band, I was 16 and we were like the next band up and we just came busting open the like back doors to the sports complex like we were in some like, Karate Kid movie, just like ready to go pumped. And I remember just our friends coming just like, you're looking like a bunch of badasses over there. I was like, and then I look back at that going like, we were all 16, just like, just freaking welcome to the dojo. Here we go.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So that's very like East Coast. I know, like East Coast, like DC, Philly. A lot of hardcore shows are in New Jersey too. Like they do them in churches,
Yep.
like Presbyterian churches
Yeah.
a lot. That's pretty dope.
And so come on down, see a show.
I would love.
Come
to.
on down, see a show.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. If it's advertised out there on the interwebs,
Who books it?
come on
I want
down.
to. I want to try and book my new band there.
Yeah, no. Austin,
We're trying to come up with a name.
I don't know if he wants to be, thrown
talk
out there,
off.
but we'll talk.
Yeah,
But
I don't
won't
say
give
it 'cause-
last names
because I want him to book
yeah.
my band. So don't.
Well, I want him to book mine too. I want him to book my band, which is not. I have another band.
What's it
besides
called?
Mascot. Death of Rebellion.
Ooh.
This is news
I
to
do
me.
What kind of music?
It's like industrial. We wanted to be what we would call like industrial hardcore. So we wanted to just be like
Like Code
battery
Orange
side,
kinda?
yeah, kind of like or like Youth Code
Okay,
stuff like that. That's just all 9 Inch Nails meets like Earth Crisis
that's fun.
and like stuff like that. So I'm going
What
with
What do you think of like? I feel like the hardcore has had a huge. I feel like it has had a huge resurgence.
that? Yeah, it's
Like it's
I
massive.
I went to LBD.
LDB. I went
LDB.
last year.
I always get it confused. The D and the B always gets
Life and Death Brigade.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense now.
502. Shout out.
502.
Yeah, Louisville
Um,
has Louisville has
That was an
some pretty
insane
good bands
fest.
from
It
there.
was an insane fest. I
Yeah.
loved going. I literally took 3 days off work.
Oh, is that when you were up there?
Yeah, I was just up in Louisville
Yeah.
seeing bands. I made friends up there, people I hadn't even met. And this was right before I started booking shows at the church.
Oh hell
So
yeah!
I didn't know anybody. I was just up there because I liked the music. I liked the bands. I've been listening to Hard Lore, the podcast. I have that on when it's out on Thursdays. And I was just like, man, I really just,
hmm
I just dig the music. I always have. I've always been a hardcore kid.
Was Terror there this year?
No,
Was
it
that one?
was Hatebreed.
Hatebreed.
Hatebreed and Obituary.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and you had, of course, Harm's Way was there. I
Harm's
love
Way's
that band.
fun.
I love Harm's
They're
Way.
fun live. I've
They are
seen
really
them. I
fun.
saw them at Ozfest, the more punk one.
Oh, Riot
Warped
Fest?
Tour.
Oh, Warped Tour.
When it like
Yeah.
the last year it happened, I saw them.
And that was like they even said that was the first time they played in the last. Of course, the last time was
First and
like,
last,
first and last.
them and fucking who else was on that one? I saw Knocked Loose too on like a side
Ooh.
stage. There was maybe 100
Kentucky
people.
Heroes.
Now it was Nashville. Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. And some kid got like second song in.
Knocked out.
He got
He got
his
worked.
neck dropped on his neck. They had to
Whoa.
stop the show. They had to take him out on a gurney. It was crazy, dude. And then they just kept going. It was wild. But yeah, they're it's crazy like how many good bands are coming out of Louisville and the area. Like obviously Knocked Loose is massive. And I for the most part, I enjoy most of their music. Some of it, I'm like, okay, this is stupid, but I'm kind of a dickhead about music sometimes. I'm very like picky, and if things are derivative of even their self, I'm like,
You already did this last album.
you did that riff already, like, and that's not fair, and it kind of impedes my own songwriting because I'm like, that sounds like the other thing you were writing. And so it takes me forever because I'm not like a good guitar player to like write a song. It takes me a really long time to be like, but I don't know. I'm trying to change that pattern. Like with the new band, I'll have an idea and then I'll share it with them, or one of them will have it, and we'll try and build on it together while we're practicing.
Okay.
So that's how all the songs have kind of been written, with the exception of one I did write most of it like isolated and was like, okay, this is the whole thing. But
Yeah.
most of the other stuff, ideas will come from me or Dom. He played bass in FBA too. He's in that band.
Okay.
And then another comedian, guy named Giles Chickering, plays drums.
That is the most Kentucky name I have ever heard.
Oh, he's from New Hampshire. Giles
Oh, gosh.
Chickering.
That's a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pure white boy. You know what I mean? I shouldn't. It sounded weird when I said it like that. He's one of the good ones. Shuck it.
Yeah, you just
But yeah, we can't figure out a band name though.
okay.
The
Ooh.
best one we have so far is "When I Am God,"
Okay. Okay.
and it
Okay.
doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything, but you're like, ooh, that's heavy.
Sounds good.
That's heavy.
Yeah. Well, I thought of that, and then I was listening to Duncan Trussell.
Yeah.
You know Duncan Trussell?
I know Dunkin' Donuts.
You know Duncan? You would. Oh, dude, if you're theology,
Okay, I'll check
He's
him
like
out. I might
Duncan-
know him. I mean, it kind of sounds a little familiar,
It's-
but I mean, a lot of things do when you like. I'm very suggestive, so
Yeah.
it's like, you know him. I don't. Maybe.
you'd like it. He has a
Okay.
show on Netflix. It's an animated series called The Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
His podcast is
I've
That's
been
what I'm talking
told
about.
about Midnight
Okay.
Gospel. Okay,
And he's like,
that I know.
he's recently seemed like he's discovered Christianity and like a lot of the tenets and stories and just like the really good stuff, real good meaty stuff about Christ. It is it does make you feel good. It is like, okay, there's no politics. It's just like, hey, don't be a dickhead.
Well, that's what
Don't
we're-
be
Treat people
tacky.
the way you want to
Don't
be treated.
cheat.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Just be cool. Like
Yeah.
Jesus was basically just being like, fucking quit it. Be cool and cut it out. Cut out being tacky and a butthead and be nice to each other. And that was it, like, and I don't know.
that was the gospel in like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was just like, hey, can you just treat,
Yeah. If only Jesus would have had me back then to communicate that to everybody, What he's saying, guys.
what he really means
Throw the
here.
Kentucky twang on it.
Yeah.
I know he's giving you all this fish and bread, but what he's really trying to say is fucking cut it out. Be nice.
Share the fish and bread.
Be nice to each other.
Share the fish and the bread.
No, but it does. Some of the, I don't know. I had a real tumultuous time accepting things as an adult, but then at some point in my late 20s, I was like, okay, we're good. Me and Me and all that trauma from church, because I was kind of in like a cult,
Oh, okay.
like a
Baptist? I mean, sorry.
I told you I
Baptist
broke the
friends, but,
CDs
like, yeah.
and shit. Yeah,
But like they did have a tendency to get a
Indoctrination
little
almost. Dude. Yeah.
fundamental culty.
Oh, my
like it was
God.
seems so easy for that denomination to whoops, we slipped right into cult.
we used to go to this thing called Acquire the Fire. It was this
That's a
huge,
good band
That-
name.
It's well, unfortunately, it was a huge Christian festival in Nashville that they had. They had
why
them all
don't you
over.
why don't you like change the title just a little bit of like, like zeros instead of
Sounds like
O's?
getting a sexually transmitted disease.
Like a little bit,
I
yeah.
acquired the fire.
I acquired the fire. Thank God I got vaccinated.
Yeah,
Ah, he brought it back.
that was a nice callback.
Thanks.
Yeah, they would have these huge things, and there was this guy, I can't remember his name, but he was very charismatic, and he was such a good speaker. And it was an arena, like the
Oh, yeah.
Bridgestone, or no, it wasn't Bridgestone in Nashville, but it was like where they maybe used to play. I don't know. It was a huge arena, probably 6,000 or 7,000 people,
Okay.
full. And then like the Supertones would play at the end. Do you remember the Supertones?
Oh yeah.
Fucking rock. They did rip off Metallica a
Yes.
lot.
A lot.
Ironically.
A lot.
Ironically, but also
I mean,
Christian
Stryper,
kids.
Stryper was pretty original. You got to give him credit. They might have been hair metal, but like,
To hell with the devil.
dude, hell with the devil. Boom.
They had the orange stuff.
Dude,
Didn't they go
it
bad
was
one? Didn't they
yellow.
go
It was
heel,
Hornet.
though?
They had like a no. Remember they got their controversy was they said like God, damn the devil. It was the name of their like new album.
They
and
like to
the
skate
Christian fundamentalists got like
Oh.
real upset
God.
about that.
They're like, God, damn the devil.
Yeah, and then it was like they're like, wait, that's way too close.
Too close.
And they were like, come on, guys, we've been doing this for a long time. I think you know what we're about at this point.
Okay, my a friend of mine passed away recently, and we had the funeral was at our church that we grew up together in, and his brother, they're old friends, like dear friends, and his brother used to be a pastor, so he did a lot of the service, and he like jokingly cussed in I guess the eulogy. I guess he did the eulogy. He said like hell or something, and it went, dude, crushed. He crushed in there. He cussed in church and just. He was killing, dude. I was like,
Dominated.
yo, if I could have cussed in youth group to get the point across,
Yeah.
yo, that's not fair.
Well, just
I want to go back to church now just so I can cuss there.
Well, I don't want to get like too, like there's always these people who like to put like, what is it like? Oh, it could have been this. Like, kind of look for brownie points in like,
Oh, yeah.
translation.
Mm-hmm.
But like there is evidence that there could have been a point where Paul, I forget which letter it is, might have said stuff like, well, this is total bullshit. Like basically use the equivalent back then for like what would have been like, oh, if you're going to take it that direction, that's bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And like Paul kind of said an equivalent to that. So people think that there might have been that, because I do believe that there is a difference. And I think you see this clearly stated in the scripture of saying, hey, I had a shitty day,
Yeah.
and saying you're a piece of shit. There is a difference between like what cussing I think really like that's slang saying I had a shitty day.
That's how we
just
talk.
slang.
Yeah.
But saying you're a piece of shit, that's cursing somebody.
Yeah.
What if that's bringing somebody's character into play, and you
Yeah,
probably
yeah, you're
you don't
right.
want to be responsible for that. That's God's responsibility to judge someone's character. So that's
Yeah.
where we don't that's treat people the way you want to be treated. You share the gospel that Jesus is the truth, the way, and the light. Don't get wrapped up in like, oh, they should have dotted their I's and crossed their T's a little sooner. Like, don't get into
Yeah.
that. That's where you become a Pharisee. That's what Jesus fought against is, turning over the money tables. Everything was
Yeah.
just, this is not what we're about.
Dude,
And so
That Pharisee type, dude. I haven't thought about the Pharisees in a long. They suck, dude.
they were
Yes,
they had gotten off the reservation. Oh, can we say that?
I don't
Is it-
know.
is it
You can say
off
whatever
the
you want. This is
reservation?
YouTube.
This is YouTube.
Dude, something happened to me this week, and I think it's happened before, but it was at a car dealership. And long story short, they weren't upholding their end of the warranty agreement.
Okay.
That's where it all.
So it was
we were.
CarMax. Yeah.
No, it wasn't CarMax. It was actually Craig and Landreth in Louisville.
Oh, there
Go
we
fuck
go.
yourself. You fucking
There's-
suck. You're
that's-
liars. You suck.
I mean, that's a an opposite of a call out.
But yeah,
That's a rebuke. You got
I
rebuked.
rebuke you in the name of Jesus, dude. I don't even know if that works anymore, but I'm saying it because you
Okay.
treated us like shit. You're evil. So anyway, God, I'm sorry about that. But
Hey, we'll pray for you. We'll pray for them.
they were like just giving us the runaround, and I was like, you guys just sold her, I'm talking about my girlfriend, a piece
Yeah.
of shit. That's it. And I said it just like that. I didn't raise my voice or anything because I was trying to be calm
Right.
because I was just there for support, you know. And the dude helping was just like, I think he owns a fucking place. I guess he's Mr. Craig. He was like, I'm not talking to him anymore. I'm not. And he got stood up, got all red faced, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, dude, I'm going to my Prius. Fucking-
Going in my
I'm going to my Prius to chill out, and I felt bad because I wanted to be there to, but they pulled this like, oh, you said a bad word, you have some sort of like other than positive reaction to our malfeasance, and so now you're wrong because we're being jackasses, but you said a bad word, and it's just like this. I can't. I'm like, how do? And I feel like businesses do that. If they have
glad you
any
brought that up.
problem
Yeah.
with their customer service, it's like, well, we don't do that here. Well, fuck you. I'm here and I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, I
I'm
think
gonna do it.
there's kind of this thing you bring up that we've actually talked about a couple of times on the
It's not like a
podcast.
Karen.
What-
I know I do.
there's this, but there is
Okay.
this side that like what we're kind of striving for is why we don't have our phones out during podcasts. We don't try to do that mainly because
Yeah.
we want to have a genuine conversation.
Who
We
has
don't-
their phones out during
we-
podcasts?
You know, there's always like the whole like we'd be like, look it up, Tony. Pull that up on the screen.
Oh, we don't have a
You know,
Tony.
I know,
We need
but
a
like
Tony.
like
It's just
there
me.
is that like that happens, and just for our purposes, we want to keep it like don't get lost in your phone. It's like, oh no, let me look up that thing that I want to.
No, that's I don't.
You know, I don't like doing that. I don't want to get even the option for that to happen. It's like
Yeah.
more like this is just a friendly. Like I think of it as like you're going to the gym of thought. You're just
Yeah.
going to work out and just wrestle with stuff and find stuff out. But I'm glad you brought up that whole thing about it seems in this information age where we can look everything up on Google. Not only do we forget what we were looking up in the first place because we just got the information we needed and then we're like, okay, bye. Well, what's for
Yeah.
lunch?
Yeah.
But it seems that now, like what that dude did to you, they can pick what they want to be offended by.
Yeah.
Or if so they went, oh, it's a cuss word because his tone was friendly. Maybe you were just like, hey, fact of the matter is you sold her a piece of shit. That's what I see. But he would go, oh, well, I'm going to choose the cuss word because his tone wasn't like, well, you sold her a piece of shit.
No,
it
I
was
didn't
like,
say it like that.
yeah, exactly. So I feel that it's like a lose-lose for communication right now. This isn't me picking at anybody, but it's more like just our society seems to be in this area, and I know that's a big blanket term, but we seem to be headed into this like we're losing the beauty of communication. Of
Yeah.
like each person's individualism being brought into the whole.
Yeah.
And like we're losing it through this like people can pick and choose because they're like well informed, they're just not using critical thought. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I know X, Y, and Z, and I don't like that you brought A, B, and C to the table. So I can't really get rid of A because you handled that okay, but I can get rid of B and C.
Yeah.
And it's like you just focus in instead of just being like, well, people are people, and we need to find a way to like really resolve this.
Yeah.
Not just make it about
Yeah.
a battle of wits. It just unfortunately seems to always come down to just like, well, I won't talk to him and we'll work out another way.
We're not
And
gonna.
it's like,
he said a curse word, and that's not allowed.
he said a dirty word.
In the sanctity of the halls of Craig and Landreth Auto fucking Mart or whatever.
Wow. Can't
Stupid.
be saying that there, but your friend is cussing in church. See, this is the world is different. The
I know,
world
right?
it's a strange place when you wake up
Yeah.
every day.
He can cuss at a funeral all you want.
You can
But-
cuss at a funeral.
If you say shit,
Well, hey, there's a good band name. Cussing at a funeral.
cussing at a funeral. My bass player sent me a band name today. It was oh God, what was it? Let me think here. I'm not gonna pull it up on my phone.
Ron Burgundy.
No, it was in separation.
Okay.
And I was like inseparable, but but with
You
an
made one. It could have been one word, two words.
I was like inseparable ratio. I was like, I don't think that's a word, but apparently it's like a botany term.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with inseparable. It has some. It's like a medical or not
plant
medical
thing.
botany.
Okay.
I think botany hardcore would be a good band name.
that would be, or just botany.
Botanist.
Botany.
Botanist. Ooh, there you go.
And all the songs would be about like clipping leaves and
Yeah, and
Probably-
just poisonous plants.
people probably
you
think
go.
you're all about weed though. They'd be like,
Yeah,
oh, you
they'd be like,
stoner, man.
Yeah, you doom metal. They're not doom metal. They're hardcore. What's happening?
Dude, I've been really getting into sludge metal.
Oh, sludge metal's great.
Fucking, you know that band Frozen Soul?
No,
God, it's real weird,
check them out.
kind of like weird, kind of
Yeah,
fantasy almost.
Okay.
Like has a weird, almost like a
Kinda
fantasy
like
vibe.
a Bathory kind of.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
or like a Celtic frost kind of vibe. Has like
Celtic
has like a
frost.
European darkness to it.
Those guys, they LARP. They're at that level, dude.
In the,
Anyway.
with a Polaroid.
Right. I want to ask you guys this. I'm going to ask you guys both this question.
Yes.
You have 3 questions. You get to the pearly gates. What are 3 questions you would want to ask?
John, go first because I've been talking.
Oh gosh,
I've been talking too much.
3 questions.
You got a bunch of chatty Cathys over here.
This is so on the spot. I went from not talking at all to now having.
I'm trying to make sure you're included.
Hey.
I talk a lot.
I'm just making him in a list of all these bands that I got to go home and listen to.
I know he has to edit the podcast if you gave it to him, so he'll have to like edit it and do all that. So he has to find references.
I don't.
Oh, here, you go.
You got anything?
Yeah, you-
What if we do one?
I would say we'll,
what if we
one
do
each.
one?
Yeah, we'll
Trade
pass
off.
it back and
All
forth.
right, that's good.
I ask a question. I don't have to answer.
This is hard, man.
This is dead air. You got to fill it.
I
man.
know. I'm trying really hard to.
I know. I'm just putting pressure
But all my
on you.
questions go to like, are they here? But like, that's like.
You don't got even like cool ones like why do dogs not live longer? Stuff like this. That's like
now I want to know. No. Dinosaurs.
okay. All right.
What
what's
happened?
Up with that?
What was
happened?
what was the real? Because like
What
so
really whacked them?
so Job. You asked earlier favorite book of the Bible. Mine's Job. In Job, there's 2 references to what we believe are dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
And like, what was the deal? If they were around in Job's time, where'd they go? So that'd be first one. Like, what happened with dinosaurs?
Okay.
I think they just couldn't make it. I think it got too cold for
They
them.
went the way of the dodo.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
God can answer now.
But God would know.
Yeah,
for
God
sure.
would
No,
know.
he'd be like, "Here you go." Whoa.
Like, did you not listen?
I would have been
No.
like,
I
I
"Wait,
told you.
I
God,
already established he's the educated one here.
why is this video you're showing me of what happened to dinosaurs? It's narrated by Morgan Freeman. What?
Didn't you see Jurassic Park?
That was a documentary.
What if that was like it? Like he was like, no, that was going to be a timeline. It just didn't work out. Like you were this close to actually having Jurassic Park. That would be. Ooh.
I bet they could do it.
They're trying.
They actually said there are a lot of
With,
scientists who think that movie is one of the most accurate things for cloning.
Yep.
I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah. What would be one
Mine,
so far? Yeah.
like if I actually got to the actual pearly gates.
You're at the gates of St. Peter. What are you going to be like? Hey, I got.
Oh,
I
I'd
just
be
wanna
like,
ask.
are you
Like,
fucking serious? This is real. I'm like, oh
I knew you were going to
shit.
say something like that. I was like,
Oh,
I'm asking this.
crap.
We're going to see where this is going.
Yo, what?
You know, it's like that Steve Martin joke.
What?
He says he has that where he's like, man, if I got to the pearly gates, the first thought come to me was, oh, all my philosophy courses told me this was bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
No, I don't know what I don't. All right, just to keep it going, nothing real. We're talking theology here.
Yeah, go for it.
I would ask, probably could have a jet ski. Do I get a jet ski?
Like, what can we have up
What-
here? Like, what?
Do I get
while
a
we're
jet ski?
waiting
That
for
was-
the new heavens and the new
I
earth.
want a Sea-Doo
Like,
jet ski, like a
okay.
vintage
There
one.
you go.
All right.
Like a big one,
But,
like that I
like-
could take like 3 or 4 people on.
What would be optimum riding conditions that you'd want to have for that jet ski? Do
Just
you want it to change?
say-
Like, do you want to be surprised by like the waves, or do you want to go in with like a pretty consistent? You got like a temperature and like a wave ratio where you're like.
I mean, I
"That's
feel
it."
like it kind of be like bowling with the bumpers on. You can't really do anything wrong in heaven. As far as
Okay.
from what I recall of the Bible, heaven is pretty awesome, and you can't even like get hurt or get your feelings.
Well, yeah,
hurt.
it's actually technically for us, it's a waiting place until the new heavens and the new earth. So it's where we go
Is
to
that
be
what
with
it
the
is?
Lord.
Yeah.
Yes. So you technically there might even be no one. I mean, yes, we would go to sit. We would go to be with the Lord at this point, but like, there's also the theory that like hell is empty
Mhm.
because souls aren't in it yet. The
Where
final
are
judgment
they?
hasn't happened. They're in what's called Abraham's bosom. which
That's
would be like
good band
the,
name.
There you go.
Abraham's bosom go. So yeah, there's also the theory that that's where Jesus went for his 3 days, was to
Yeah.
minister to the people who were in Abraham's bosom, and the ones who
Oh, that's wild.
would get out
dude.
would get out, because there's the whole side of just like, you
What-
know, it's like our souls sometimes speak a different language than like
Mm-hmm.
our bodies do, or kind of like it, you know, that happens. It's like our brains do that. I mean, if we can believe in a right and a left side of a brain, it's probably pretty understandable that like in the craziness of the world that our souls would have a similar aspect of what we think we want and what we actually long for.
Mhm.
And so, you know, that's
It's very interesting.
yeah,
It's very, it's pretty meta.
pretty meta.
But I
Well, I
like
mean, I
That is-
went to school to be a absurdist playwright
Nice.
to start. things
That's
off,
right.
so
I feel. I remember you
I
telling.
got a weird story.
I say this
about it.
guy's got a weird history.
got
I
a
feel like
weird
you told me you were a writer or something.
I was. I mean, primarily, I went to school to be a playwright, and first to be an actor, and then I didn't want to be told I couldn't get tattoos and get a beer belly, and I always enjoyed hanging out with the writers more. So I
Uh-huh.
was just like, I don't want to constantly just be up on stage. I'd rather be writing. I enjoy it a lot more. I enjoyed improvisation and getting to do all that. So I was like,
Did you do any improv in Chicago?
I wanted to. I didn't get around to it. I actually was trying to start a theater company when I
Oh.
was up there, and that took up a lot of learning stuff was
Mhm.
going on and was going through. Actually, that's when I started to think like maybe I wanted to be a pastor.
Mhm.
Started to really church plant up in Chicago, or be involved with the church plant,
Uh huh.
and I was really excited about that. So I was thinking about kind of changing direction, and then
Mhm.
before I knew it, it was like I was back in California, and my life was going through a whirlwind.
Are you from California?
I am. I'm originally from Los Angeles.
Where? And so, how did you get to Lexington? How did you make
My
it out?
ex-wife, she went to
Oh,
UK
okay.
for nursing, and then that didn't work out, and then she was like, well, now I want to still be a nurse. I'm going to join the army. And I was like, what? And she was like, I'm going to join the army. Don't worry about it. Like, this is what I want to do. This is really what I want to do. So I was like, well, I'm not going to live in Lexington with
What?
our kid. I'm going to go back to California. And my parents were like, you can stay with us while she goes through boot camp,
Yeah.
I guess, if that's what you're doing. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And then while she was at boot camp, she was like, yeah, I don't want to be married to you anymore. I don't really
Damn.
believe in God. That's what she actually told me. She told me, will you believe in this whole God thing? I don't. It broke my heart.
That's
I
sad.
fell
Sounds-
apart, and I kind of lost faith for a bit, just because I was like, and I even had pastor friends who told me, they were just like, you just don't be afraid to like drop everything.
Mhm.
They actually were just very kind, and were like, what is meant to be, brought back up, you'll pick back up. And that couldn't have been more wiser, actually, than just for them to have that enough faith in God to just be like, hey, like, he's got you.
Mhm.
You're not gonna, you don't have to perform. You never have to perform.
Mhm.
But more so than ever now, don't feel any need to have to perform. Like, it's gonna be a mess.
Like perform, like as a
Like-
performer.
Or just as like a Christian. Just
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
show up to church
Faking
every
through something
Sunday,
you're not
or
feeling.
you gotta really, now you still gotta go to seminary, and you gotta get all this stuff worked out with, being a pastor. They were like, if you woke up today and were just like, I can't, they're like, that's okay.
Were you pretty young when you got married?
Yeah.
How old?
I got married in Chicago. I was 22, I think, when I got married.
I was 20.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, I actually moved out of our apartment because I had a rush of faith, and was very getting about it. So I moved in with some Christian friends, and she got our apartment in Wrigleyville. And then we were like basically going to get married so we could move back in together, because we were like, well, we want to. It wasn't the wisest choice. We never went
Yeah,
through, I do strongly believe no matter who you are, go through marriage counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
No matter in the faith, out of the faith, anywhere, go through marriage counseling. Don't just think you got it. Like,
Yeah.
I think that is one thing I have learned, and I didn't with my second marriage. I'll be honest, and we have an amazing relationship.
Mhm.
But there was also a lot of trial by fire with that too.
Mhm.
It's what happens. That's why I just would recommend starting out. Do what you can in that
Yeah.
environment.
John, are you married?
I am 4 years in August.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh,
You got any
thank
kids?
No,
No little ones?
no.
Do you want
desire.
any?
Not right now.
How old are you?
I am 24.
Oh, you're
I say
young.
I
I
still
know,
got-
I'm 35.
I got a lot
he's
of time.
24. He wears the suits. I wear the Converge shirts.
Right?
What
Yeah.
is happening?
It's a nice dichotomy we got
It
here.
is.
I don't know. When I was your age, when I was 24, I had 2 kids and was like, had to be, dad
Yeah.
for a couple. I mean, for quite a few, like more than a decade. But I don't know. It was, when they started being teenagers, I was just like, fuck this. Like, I'm not. I hate my job. I miss playing
Like,
music.
I'm gonna go back and do what I wanted to do when I was 20.
I miss playing. Yeah, and I honestly, like, I think as a parent, one of them, I don't know. It sounds stupid or whatever, but I wanted to show my kids that even if it sucks or it's hard or whatever, you don't have to, even if whatever. I thought I was being a bad example to just keep working my job that was killing me.
Yeah.
It was not a good example. I'm still fat, but I was in way worse shape. I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. I drank every day. I would eat whatever, whenever.
I've been there.
Just everything to the excess. Like, I had no governor for anything because I made a bunch of money. I could go do whatever the fuck I wanted. I had a big house, but I had all this stuff, but I didn't have happiness. I wasn't happy because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do with my like career.
Mhm.
So it took it took me a long time to, I guess, work up the courage to say fuck it,
Yeah.
So because now they're both college grown almost. My oldest was in college, so it's like now things are starting to like really cost money.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, what the fuck did you do? So that's why I need everyone on that Patreon, baby.
Get on that Patreon.
Gotta
for
pay for
John.
these kids.
He's got kids.
Yeah.
They are expensive. I have 4. I can attest.
How old are yours?
I've got 2 stepkids.
Okay.
I've got a 12 and 11-year-old, and I've got an 8-year-old myself, and then my wife and I have our own bundle of joy. He is going to be 3 in October.
Nice. Full house.
Full house. It's like Brady Bunch. It
Did-
really is. It's 2 and 2. It's
You ever
like
you ever beat the shit out of it? They ever beat each other's ass?
you were taking that to a dark place there at first. It was like, no, I've never hit my kids.
I was saying, do you ever beat the shit out of your
no,
kids?
never hit my kids.
Yes, every day. That's how they know. I love them.
It's funny because the ones that are the most alike, which are my side of the brood, which would be my daughter and my 3-year-old, they are so rough and rowdy.
Oh,
They really are. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Give me that back. And they're like, you're going to kill each other. And I'm not sure which one's going to kill the other because, like, they are both all out.
Heck
And I'm
yeah.
like, dude, they go for it. Yeah. What about yours?
I
What are they
have,
doing now? What are they into as teenagers? Like, what's.
my oldest one is she's about to start her sophomore year at University of Cincinnati.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she's kind of like she works a lot. She told me the other day, she's like, I don't really have a hobby. And I was like, huh. I was like, is there anything you like to do? And she was like, oh, well, kind of. And I told her she should start a synth pop band with her sister. And she looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, I mean, you know how to play the fucking keyboard. Just turn the synth on instead of the piano.
That would make
Yeah.
sense. I mean, think about
but she's
bedroom,
not in,
the bedroom lo-fi
Yeah,
stuff. Do all that. Dude,
easy.
that would.
but she's not into it. And my youngest daughter plays guitar pretty well to be like self-taught. Like she plays good.
That's awesome.
But they don't have whatever that is that I guess you and I have about like wanting to start a band or
Just artistic urge
or
to like
write.
express.
Yeah, they have it, but it's not. They don't want to like show it in a way like publicly, like maybe we do. Like
get
our
I
that.
just
our
think I'm
age
profoundly
does.
not cool. Like,
You're cool. I've
dude,
seen it.
I think
just
it's this
I'm
younger
just-
generation thing because
Yeah, they're closer to
I
your
would say
age.
I understand that to an extent. There is a level with how public everything is nowadays, not wanting to put something out there.
It's cringy.
Yeah. No, I'm a bit older than them, so
They see us as like cringy.
yeah.
They think I was like, check out my shit, my band, my comedy, my stupid fucking podcast.
what
Kids-
about me is cringe?
No, me too. But
Yeah.
to them,
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
oh, why do you want to do that?
Well,
Like, that's a bit like you're over. It's like you're just overzealous,
Yeah.
or you're like, it's a bit much, dude. Like, is that kind of what it is? Like,
Kind of, but I'm also like, screw you then. Like,
I'm working the hustle muscle right now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't just repeat shit. I'm trying to make stuff up, bitch. Like,
I'm trying to make stuff out of.
I'm trying to make up something new.
Yeah.
I've
Not-
felt that some promoting this podcast of like not reluctance isn't the right word, but almost like I don't want to share this because people are going to see it.
Well, you're not on social. This is so.
I'm
Here's
also
the funny
not on
thing about
socials.
like I'm finding this out. It's truly inspiring. Tell them about like you're not on.
No social media. I got rid of it years ago. I haven't looked back.
He doesn't even have his phone on him half the time. I try to
That is
text him
true.
about the podcast. And he's like, I didn't have my phone on me today. I found an old Apple Watch in my car that I'm charging, and this is how I'm getting your messages. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's awesome.
What?
I forget
are
my
you?
phone most of the time. I don't even know.
Dude, I can't. I don't like it. My phone definitely has like a hold on me,
Yeah.
especially doing like content. Now it's like it's
Yeah.
hard to like let it just put it down. Like I'm always touching it.
Yeah.
I will admit, before we started recording, actually, I took like a 3-week sabbatical from social media
Oh wow.
just to kind of write and get this start, like really focus in. And it was the best feeling ever. But then when I had to start promoting this,
Well, it was. I
it pulled
re-downloaded
me
it.
back in.
I re-downloaded Instagram just to follow, and I mean, the 2 seconds it took to follow this account, I found myself like
bit
diving back
doom
into it. Yeah.
scrolling.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's hard not to, especially with like doing shows or whatever. Most of the booking that I do and that I get booked for is through
You
Instagram
have
or
to.
You
Facebook.
got to be in the direct messages.
Yeah, like,
just
I could have gotten. I don't know if I could have, but there was an email to host for Hannibal Buress a couple weeks ago
Oh wow. Yeah.
that I got at 3 p.m. but I didn't see till 6 or 7.
somebody already.
And I sent my reply like, yes, I'll do it, but they had already picked somebody.
Oh.
Now I don't know if I don't know if they just picked. I don't think they just picked the first person, but it goes out to like a number of people, and I didn't get it. But I was like, maybe I would have if I would have answered quicker.
Right, I have those same thoughts, especially when I
FOMO.
was an actor. I was
Yeah.
like, what if I just?
Well, because it's money
Yeah.
that I need. I mean, sometimes the shows I do, the money I get to do that show is how I get to just survive until the next show. I mean, it's bleak. It's bleak as fuck. But I mean, it is what it is. You can't be like, oh no, I want to do that now. You just have to do whatever you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm doing bingo
been
this
there.
weekend.
You doing
It's gonna
bingo?
be stupid.
What are you doing in an old folks home? What are you doing?
It's at a pizza place in Versailles. Shout out, come out to fucking whatever pizza place it is.
It's not mere or
Come out
rolling
to
oven,
whatever
is it?
pizza.
It is
Rolling
rolling
oven?
oven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, all right.
Oh, they have great pizza.
Ooh, yeah, it is rolling oven. Rolling oven Sunday night at 8.
Okay.
I'm the stand-in bingo host. I love bingo. It's fun.
That's a good band name. Stand-in bingo host.
Stand-in bingo host. How about just bingo?
Bingo. What's his name? Oh,
That's what I immediately thought. Too.
My face pubes got stuck in the.
I hate when that happens. It kind of pinches and pulls at it. I've had that when I've been on stage, but I'm screaming into the mic, so it's just.
You have a good
Furthermore.
scream, dude.
Thank you.
Let's see what time we're at. Can you see it?
No,
123.
123.
We are cruising.
We're cruising, dude.
Can I show you guys some funny Facebook things that I
Yes.
found? Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. I do have to look at my phone, but it's just for that.
You're fine.
Well, this is your
This is a
podcast.
joint podcast effort, so the rule can be bended.
All right. So there's just a few here. Are these the ones I took from? These are what I took.
I'll pass it to you.
There we go.
All right. Now keep in mind some of these are questionable. Okay, we're just gonna say that. All right. This first one is pretty cool. It's a 1994
Oh.
Ford Explorer Sport Utility 4-door from
Oh, that's
Jurassic
awesome.
Park.
I'm gonna paint mine that way.
Yeah, and it's like they go 360 all the way around.
So you're buying that, right?
Dude, I want to. Clean title, zero rust. Fully restored custom Jurassic Park tribute 1994 Ford Explorer XLT 4-door rear-wheel drive at Jurassic Park, dude.
Not
If you don't have 4-wheel drive,
Gonna
you're
four-wheel,
fucked,
yeah.
dude. But it's still a pretty cool replica. I think. What do
a
you
slick
What do you
paint
guys
job.
that
think?
is so good.
Isn't it cool?
That's way to go.
Wouldn't that be cool as
Why'd you
fuck to
wanna
drive
sell
around? I know. $17,995.
was used for only 4 drug runs, and that's why.
Before it's seized by police.
Sometimes in the comment, sometimes this is just like a listing of all the stuff. This guy's pretty serious. I don't know.
That's a lengthy resume for that car.
That's one. Okay, this one's pretty fun. It's a gorilla head. Says, I have a gorilla head that you can hang on the wall if you're into gorillas. $60 or better offer.
My wife's selling that?
Nice. Very good. All right, this next one, stained glass bobblehead cat lamp.
How is it a bobblehead?
I don't know. It doesn't move.
That's the question of the podcast.
In excellent condition. It emits a stunningly glorious
until you
glow.
hit the bobble.
I was going to say that it shatters.
I wonder if it actually. I don't think it actually moves. I think it's just like a. I think what they mean is like it has a
It's
big
large.
head.
Well, that's false advertisement.
different
And
than-
you need to knock that price down.
I say I want a glass bobblehead.
Yeah. It kind of. All right, next one. This one's pretty stupid. Homemade tree lamp. It's just like a twisted wood, and it looks like they've just put Christmas lights and some LED strip lights around it.
From here, it looks like a bong.
It does. Looks like a huge bong, but it's like it's huge. And then okay. And then
Sky Yeti.
and then the next one, I made a twisted piece of tree that I found and turned into a lamp. It has a lantern that I have added on it at the top. I know that this type of stuff goes for a way more. Feel this price is very reasonable, willing to negotiate. Pictures do not justify. It is really unique. Fucking $800.
I was about ready to hop on that. I was like, I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna let him finish, but $800.
Yeah, dude. $800. Are you kidding me?
No.
You
That looks like something Gandalf rejected when he was going for like, what's my staff going to be? Not this.
Not this thing.
Not this.
Sucks, dude. $800. All right, next one. Framed Guy Fieri claims, I'm not the guy everyone thinks they know. A piece curated by me, $30 or better. It's just a People magazine cover.
It's not signed or anything. It's just
I don't think so.
a signed. I mean, that looks like something I would put up in my apartment.
Look at his
like
watch.
Ironically.
So stupid.
You know what I mean?
Is that
like,
Meghan Markle? Oh, yeah.
It is.
Meghan Unfiltered.
It's good to see that my ex-girlfriend's getting some recognition.
That's an old one. Okay, hold on. These are old. Let me skip here just a second. Okay, this one's a little aggressive. Vintage solid brass bear statue figure.
What are those bears doing?
I don't know, but it looks...
Are they wrestling?
They are doing something.
I mean, that looks similar to what I see on Fight Night for UFC.
Solid brass, 4.5 inches tall and weighs 2 pounds, 3 ounces. Oh, can meet. Yeah, it's just two bears.
That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Sure.
Is that what they call it?
Is that what they call it?
Is that what they call it?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, it looks like. Is this just a preview for the Revenant? Is that is that Leonardo right there? All right, moving on.
I miss you, Leo.
Okay, that's my bass I'm selling.
You're selling that bass?
Yep, 1999 Fender, not Fender, Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray, 1999 vintage with a tweed case.
Cody, buy this bass.
That's a joke I wrote down. Hopefully, I don't pass through any dick pics. All right, here we go.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just joking. I don't
What's
send
the price?
You're like, those are way
I try to
further-
send it to my girlfriend. She's
And
like,
you put 'em in the
stop.
hide folder.
She's like, stop sending me these. No,
Why are you sending me pictures of a sad turkey?
Okay, this one's cool. $8,600,000.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr. black velvet oil-based painting. Need help selling it? I don't know what it's worth.
How big? So this actually does remind me, though. This is actually kind of a cool thing. There was this artist they found through like a Facebook marketplace that had like beautiful portraits they did in there. It was like an estate sale, and some of it was on Facebook. And someone was like, "Whoa! Actually, wait. I've been trying to hunt this guy down for forever. He's kind of a forgotten artist."
Oh,
and they
wow.
found all of his
Well,
stuff
maybe
through
this
stuff
is-
like that.
Maybe this is
Maybe it is worth $8 million.
$8,600,000. So
Oh, yeah,
nearly
sorry.
$9 million.
Is the price negotiable? Can I go down to like 8.2?
That didn't say that, so probably not.
Nope.
Here's a 9/11 newspaper from 9/12/01. I have a USA Today that was printed on 9/11.
Whoa.
Yeah, I remember. I went and picked it up at the gas station. I was in
Got to.
college.
That was the way to do it, man.
All right, I think I have one. Okay, this one's really weird. 3 drums, 55-gallon.
And
3
that's-
metal drums used to hold chicken feed with the lock lids. If it's listed, it's still up. $75, but that's the fucking.
Thank you for verifying that they were real chickens.
We actually used them for
actually
chickens.
used them for chickens, guys, not bodies.
Yo, dude, he is loving it.
He's loving it.
Chickens, they are in deep love with each other. Okay, monkey light for indoor hanging. I bought from China. The design of these lights won gold prize in designation of lights in China. I don't believe that.
You know what I would respond back with? I'll give you $100, but I'm hanging it outside.
Yeah.
Say indoor hanging. Tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'll put it
Hang
wherever the fuck I want.
outside.
Stupid ass.
That's what I'm going to do.
This one's
Hey,
cool.
there you go.
Hey, there it is.
Sea-Doo jet ski
Ride
with
that to
trailer.
heaven.
Best product I've ever owned. Rides great. Service regularly. Look at that shit, dude.
That is mint.
$1,800.
I think you put this in here just so you can talk more about Sea
I maybe, but God, I want that. Somebody, I need Patreon. I need this in my life.
1,800.
Hey, hit up his Patreon so he can get to see it.
Okay, this one's kind of weird. They had a movie going.
Is
Is this someone's dreads?
that a tumbleweave?
Hold on, it is. Did I get the?
That's in a great value Ziploc bag.
Oh yeah, I forgot to. It's basically somebody selling their weave. No, their dreads that they cut out. I'm gonna have to go back and find the description, but it was somebody that cut their dreads off
Okay.
and is selling them.
All right.
I don't remember the price. I did take a video. All right, this last one is kind of rough.
Oh gosh.
I don't even know.
Oh.
What?
This may be Patreon only material
Yeah.
right here. 10 Little Colored Boys, antique children's book.
Oh gosh.
I wonder why. There's a lot about that that's antique.
Published in 1942. This book is
Yeah.
85 years old, and just like your grandmother still says colored. This is horrible, dude. Like I can't even.
No.
It's like, I mean, the art's good. One slid off the roof, then there were not. This is not good. I did take a picture of everything. I think I need to show. This is some real bad. My dad used to have a copy of. This is another really bad one. It's Aunt Jemima 5-piece set. There's some bad.
Is it hand soap?
Aunt Jemima with salt and pepper shaker, ketchup bottle, and teapot with removable head. One of them has alopecia. It looks like. Okay. We have.
And that.
I think we reached the boundaries of what's okay
So-
today.
John, congratulations! You got those Christian nationalists. You won.
Yeah, dude.
You.
They are.
They've been
It's fine.
sending me listings, dude. They're following me now.
He's got sponsorships for the Daily Wire. They're like, well,
Is that Ben Shapiro?
That's Ben
Yes.
Shapiro's.
Yo, what did he fire Candace Owens for?
Wouldn't you fire Candace Owens?
I mean, I don't like either one of them, really.
No, I don't like either.
They're both really.
I'm not for him.
Okay, question for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And be honest.
Yeah.
So with all the, I feel like, and me too. There's always like a soft spot in the Christian heart for the Jewish folk.
Yeah.
So with all the war stuff going on, what do you think of all that?
Okay. I'm in no way a Zionist.
Good.
So that's not. No, I've never been. I actually listened to a really good podcast called Theology in the Raw with Preston Sprinkle, and he had actually a guy who runs this thing called like prayer at what is it, where they do the military stops in between Gaza and everything. He has it's like prayer at the checkpoints, and he's actually just an Eastern Orthodox minister, priest. He teaches at Bethlehem College there in Bethlehem, and he's from Gaza.
Okay.
So there are a lot of faithful Christians, Muslims, Jews in Palestine that are hit hard by what's going on.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where I think down the line we need to take it a lot more seriously than it is. One of the sickest things I've seen happen of like this divisive culture. Like just be on this side or that. You better be down the line. And it's like, whoa. Like, there are
Yeah.
people really suffering and dying. Like, I need facts. I need to, like, I want to help. How can I help?
Mhm.
And it seems that there's so much static on how we can actually really help.
Yeah.
Like, then Israel's voting on making aid to Gaza terrorist organizations or something like that.
Yeah.
that I
Well,
saw.
that's us.
And, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's happening. So I'm just like, this
Yeah.
is insane, and I want there to just be. That's probably why we wanted. This is just a small aspect of why this is the little thing we can do to start a conversation in any way about anything. Is just to be like, hey, I want to. It's just been too crazy. No one's listening. Hey,
That's Drew.
Drew, do you work at Waffle House? Did you steal that hat like you should from Waffle House?
No, he just got some.
Wait, we can do that?
They don't give a shit, dude.
That just opened
They're ready-
up
they're
so
ready to
many
kill
doors.
somebody.
Thank you, Drew.
They're ready to kill somebody in there, dude.
Gosh,
Love
we got
Waffle
extra ones in the back we're not using. Here, you want one? I'm like, yeah, I do. I really do. That's a possibility I never thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, John?
I will start with I don't know a whole lot. I know the gist. I think it's ridiculous how far it's gone from where it started at.
Yeah.
Like a terrorist attack obviously is no joke, nothing to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
But that it's devolved into this near massacre of people that aren't a part of it is insane to see. And it is sad the polarization that's happened of just
Do you guys see it at church? Like, do you?
We see a polarization. Yes, I can speak to.
You do.
Yeah.
That means it's. I mean, it means it's bigger than any of our religions. It's something deeper. It's something within us.
It hits directly to the humanity of the situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't like. I have a like the I guess whatever the Christian right, the right wing sort of evangelical type of stuff is. I don't know. It's so linked with like big corporations and lobbying and all this shit. And it's like, dude, Jesus was like homeless.
Yeah.
Jesus was I mean, I can't even fathom how they like justify Ukraine anywhere. I don't know. I'm not trying to get political. I'm very anti-war. I don't like war.
I'm not. So that's actually
Hot
the question.
take, war sucks.
War does suck.
Hot take.
I wanted to ask you, like, this brings totally up to a question that I had written down, a possibility to ask, just to like kind of get to know you more, is in this world of isms, right? Like conservatism, liberalism, pacifism,
autism,
anarchism.
Not quite.
Nope. That's what we get for linking up with a stand-up comedian, y'all.
I had to.
You're like, you had to take it. I know.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
Where do you do you think there's a place for them? Like, are they still like guiding posts for society, or are we you think we need to do away with them?
I mean, I feel
maybe that's too overgeneralized, but I hope you get where I'm going with it. Kind of like because we all seem to be so like. It's like subgenres, and it's like, are you into that banjo chord that's coming out of like what the?
Yeah, I think like the pastor at the church that I grew up in, the pastor that's there now, one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. He's so like open-minded and will like talk to you even if you're not a believer like he is. Will still talk to you and communicate with you on the same level of, I guess, humanity. And I think that some of the, at least that I've experienced, some of the older, whatever, ministers, youth pastors, whatever, church figureheads that are so like stuck in, these black and white, whatever, or like established archetypes of what's wrong and right. We got to support Israel. We got to support, our president or whatever. And I'm like, yo, church is above, like, it shouldn't be. It's not even what church is for. It's not for politics.
No,
it's like a church is sanctuary. Church is supposed to be a place to go and like let go and sort of let God. You know what I mean?
It's kind of in a lot of ways. It is a hospital.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
place where you go to really get, these saying used to be like to get right, and you need to be doing that in, as I know firmly believe that it's a relationship. So
Mhm.
that's where we do start. And I know that that's been hijacked by many a youth pastor. It's not a religion; it's a relationship. But that it really is this. You want to be in a constant communion, and
Yeah.
that's like to get back to like the old school Benedictine monks and the thing of just constant prayer is just trying to be aligned with God and
It's like
moving forward and taking steps in that
meditation
direction.
kind
Yeah.
of.
It's having that constant mental state and heart state. It's putting your
Yeah.
soul kind of. It's like think of like resetting a bone.
Mhm.
That is kind of what with the fall when that's talked about is it went out of whack, and then it took Christ coming in to reset the bone,
Reset it.
and that's pretty much what we're getting at. So that's you're right. Politics, I think, has a place to be discussed. Not right now though. We've gotten too far to even say that as like, "Ooh," but it's like, yeah, maybe in a perfect world we could get back to that point, or in a different society at a different point in time, sure,
Yeah.
but not right now.
No.
I
Yeah.
think it's just not. It's all out
Yeah.
bloodfest.
It's like church is kind of like triage, but everybody dresses up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's there.
It's
I don't
Gucci
know.
triage.
It's
Yeah.
Gucci triage, dude. Especially at Southland.
Oh, dude. I
Big
church.
big church,
Yeah.
big C. I went to Southland for a minute. It wasn't for me.
Really?
See, I
I
went to
mean,
a
I
big
can't say
church.
good or bad for. I went to a lot. I mean, from Southern California, mega church.
Yeah.
Central.
Oh yeah.
But like,
You said you've been to some too?
Yeah, I went to Southeast in Louisville, which is a multi-million
Oh yeah.
church. I don't know that it's
Are you
that
from
much.
Louisville?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Grew up there.
I'm there like half the time.
It's a cool
now
city.
my girlfriend lives there,
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
and so she lives right by the track. It's dangerous, but
I lived right by there. Yeah. Yeah. It's a
is it
fun
the
place to
dodgy
live.
end?
It's something.
Okay. Have you ever been to Waverly?
Yes. Waverly's awesome.
I see. I did the mistake of going at Halloween, so it was just a total tourist trap.
Well, so you can
what's
do
Waverly?
Waverly Sanatorium is considered
Yeah.
one of the most haunted places in
I've heard
America.
about that.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
right up. It's the old tuberculosis.
Yep. TB
Sanatorium.
hospital.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
It
Oh, dude,
was
I love that
awesome.
stuff.
I don't like.
I'd go
I
skipping
love
through
it.
the halls, just going, yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
I always feel like, I don't know. It's weird. Do you guys ever feel like, let's talk demons here.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Do you guys ever feel like weird shit and like feel like, oh, something's here?
I've had a real crazy experience, like one that I was like firmly like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh, yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa.
What happened?
You want to know?
Where are we at? Yeah, I want to know. What does it say?
142.
Yes.
Okay, so I was just dating. I was dating my first wife at the time. We were still in California. We
Uh-huh.
met each other, yada yada yada, in college, and we were over at a friend's house.
Yeah.
And she used to be into Wicca and all that witchcraft stuff.
Yeah.
She went to Africa and did a couple of rituals in Africa.
Mhm.
Like we're talking, where does the demon from the movie Exorcist come from? Africa. Like that's true. It's that demon in there is like coming from like
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So like there is all that, and there's been talks of where like humanity has come from is northern Africa or in that area.
Yeah,
Like that
cradle
is
of
where
civilization.
that's the cradle of civilization. So the oldest stuff right there.
yeah.
And she brought something back.
Oh.
And she actually invites I did not go up.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing. She goes, in my son's room, there is a very foreboding presence in the corner, like a very oppressive presence.
Mhm.
So I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I believe you. I'm not going up. So we're talking, we're hanging out for a long, we're having a few
Wait,
drinks.
going up where?
Into her
To the room.
son's room where she says you can feel this oppressive presence in the corner.
Oh, okay.
And she said, I've tried to get rid of it. I can't.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to go up. She was like, some people did go up. We were having like a party or like a get together. Some people did, and they're like, it really is. That's creepy. And so I was like, that's weird. But I felt I was scot free and I even distinctly remember like it wasn't tripping me out. There's those things where you're like, oh, it's getting to me.
Mhm.
It could be.
Mhm.
I didn't even cry. I was just like, yeah, okay,
Mm.
whatever, guys. And like went back to drinking some bourbons and smoking some ciggies, and I was fine. I left, and I just remember like walking out, and you do the thing where you turn back and look at the house when you get to your car.
Mhm.
So I did that. Literally locked. It was like I locked presence with something right there at the window. didn't see it, but felt something lock in.
Looking at, oh yeah.
And I was just like, what? And then I started driving away, and I feel it like in the back of my car. Like it just appears there, and it drives with me in the back of my car all the way home, like through Sand Canyon where it's dark. I feel this. I'm even looking in the rearview mirror, but trying to look like I'm not, like I'm naturally just looking for like stuff behind me because I feel that oppressive presence behind me. And this wasn't like I was tired. Like a lot of people talk about, well, you know, ghost stories are pretty much nixed because everybody who is in it was like, I got home from work at 3 a.m. and, you know. Yeah. No, this was like, I was a young kid. I was going to probably be up a few more hours at night watching King of the Hill.
Yeah,
like, I was just like, yo, I'm good. And it just was
scary.
one of those things where I felt it. And then I got home and I felt it behind me while I was walking this pathway. It's California, so it's long, beautiful garden pathways up to your house. And I was doing that and I felt it behind me. I was like, shit. And I opened the door and the moonlight literally comes across and on my parents' cross. That's in the hallway, and I literally, this is where I got chills. I felt whatever was following me take like 3 steps back. The moon shone on the cross, and I felt it circling our house for 3 days.
Oh shit!
I just felt it out there for 3 days, and then it went away. It never came back, but I had this for 3 days.
Scary.
And then it was just, I was in college. I was a college kid. I just wasn't thinking much of it. I wasn't active in my faith at that time. I was just like, you know, just being a young punk out there. But I was like, that is the
it's very
weirdest
spooky
thing I have ever experienced.
Yeah, I've definitely felt stuff in certain places, and like actually in this house, in my room's in the back there, but in this house I feel something, but I felt it since I moved in. And it's not it's just like I felt like I was an annoyance to it when I moved in. That's what it felt like. I got a feeling of like, I don't really, like, and it would happen mostly when I would play my guitar. And I would feel it because I don't know why. Maybe I'm just creating it in my own mind, but it would happen every time. And so just after a while, I got tired of like feeling like that sort of like unwelcomeness, and I just turned my amp up so fucking loud, and I was like, I'm not leaving, so you're just gonna have to get over it. That's like what I was like thinking, and like, so I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking it, and then I think whatever it was, and I have reached, we figured out that we can exist in the same place.
Okay.
And I don't feel it as much anymore. I don't feel any fear of it, because I do think, and like I've said this, and my kids have made fun of me for this too, and my girlfriend too, but I don't think that any sort of spiritual anything, whether it's a dead spirit or a demon or whatever, has any fucking bearing or control over my life.
Okay.
There's no way. It has no power over me. I sincerely believe it. Can do nothing to me.
Well, it's funny when you talk about like spiritual warfare.
Yeah,
I've
crazy.
I've heard it explained as like your spirit. Think of it as like walking down the street, and it's like a dark alley or at night, and there's these entities that can scream down at you or like get in your face. But if you don't give them authority, they can't break a barrier.
Yeah,
that is there.
Yeah, it's
so
where
like
whenever
they
I
can
feel
scream
fear,
down at you and get you like riled up.
Yeah,
but they can't actually, you know, or that they can if you give them, like, you know, that permission.
It starts to get me. I get angry. Yeah. I get mad. I'm like, you motherfucker! You trying to be in here making me feel bad? I was like, if I was dead and I was here, I would fuck you up.
So you get like,
I get ready physically. I was like,
so you fight or flight, you're fight.
Fight. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's go. Because here's my logic. If you're not even here on my plane of existence, so fuck you. First of all, you're not even in the game over here. So suck my dick.
You're just a hater and a manipulator.
Yeah, you suck. You're not even here. I don't know why you're here, but you better stop bothering me, because I'm not having it. Like, I get angry. Okay. And everybody's like, why are you getting so angry? I'm like, because it pisses me off. Like, leave me alone. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I could be totally wrong about it, but that's at least the way.
What if they're trying to get you riled up? I got him again.
Like, that's kind of funny, actually. We got him! I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's weird. Like I watched Interstellar a while back, and
Yeah.
it got me thinking about like different dimensions and like who am I? Is it me?
Oh, okay. Well, they have proven that they don't know what's going on, and like there's other dimensions we just.
Oh yeah,
Mathematics has stated that like
Yeah,
they exist.
they
Isn't it cool?
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so cool.
It's
And
insane.
I mean, it kind of makes me like. It started to make me sort of believe more in whatever an afterlife or something after. It's starting to like make more sense as I get older, because I feel like okay, well, it's just the communication I'm getting. Most of it is from people who love me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Most of it is from people who care or looking at my ancestors, my gone loved ones, God, whatever.
Okay.
That's what I feel. So most of that communication that I can feel is good, but then every now and then I'll get some nasty shit, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, you know, there is the C.S. Lewis. I can't remember where he talks about this.
Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe.
Yeah, who wrote Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe
Yes.
was also a famous apologist and theologian as well. And he legit talks about if God is the author of time,
Mm-hmm.
that means when we go to eternity, he goes, I don't know, but there's a possibility we just slingshot forward to when everybody's there.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the new heavens and the new earth.
Yeah, because
We're there because God just
Mm-hmm.
go to where eternity is.
Mhm.
And that could be where we go to meet God and be with him is already in the new heavens and the new earth, because he can just literally pull the veil back. Very Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I would
He
say
loved
because
that
that's how he
imagery,
finishes
and
it.
he literally finishes it in the last battle.
Yeah.
And there is his analogy for hell is brilliant in that too, because I mean that's a tough topic, but like him of the dwarves, the race of dwarves that are like they can't get out of the cabin. They're scared in the cabin because they just think they're locked in there. They think they're in darkness and they don't want to go into the light.
Mm-hmm.
They just get angry and stay in the dark.
Yeah.
But there's a whole kingdom going on around them. They
They
never
don't know
leave.
them.
They are stuck in a dimension of like
unable to perceive.
unable to perceive or even proceed
Mhm.
from there.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're just stuck in their own shit.
And that's and in the Great Divorce he goes into that, you know, hell is this place that people, there is a possibility they choose to go there. Not that it's a place they're sent, but that if you didn't want to be with God in this lifetime, why would God make you want to be with him for eternity?
Yeah, yeah.
So you go to a place that if God is there, he's not here.
yeah.
So when it says devoid or void of God, just means, well, you've made your choice to be, you know, that's what you wanted, so you can go have that, but I won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
And so these all just, you know, heavy stuff, but stuff, you know, we all wrestle with. I don't think this is something that
Wrestling.
I'm like, yo, definitive right here. Like, no, I'm saying like this is huge stuff to wrestle with, but that's what we like to do here on this podcast. So
We'll wrestle.
We'll wrestle.
4 Horsemen.
4 Horsemen.
Ooh. Wait, who are they? Ric Flair. Fucking, was it Dusty Rhodes?
Mm-hmm. That's all I really know. I'm not gonna lie.
The other two.
It wasn't Undertaker. He came like
No.
right after that, like run, right? Because he's one of the oldest.
Oh yeah, Undertaker.
Sting and like Undertaker were OG.
Did you see Hulk Hogan going crazy on Trump?
So this
That was pretty-
this
I was like,
timeline
damn.
is. Speaking of dimensions and timelines,
This is the
we
one
got
we
this
got.
one.
Isn't it crazy,
Yeah.
dude?
We got this one.
It's kind of it's not funny, but like the way that I guess Biden dropped out and Kamala's got the endorsement,
Yeah.
and it totally has eclipsed his almost getting assassinated.
Oh yeah,
and it's like obviously Trump's pissed. Like I think he's pissed about it because he's like, hey,
I just got shot.
I put this pillow on my ear. I look ridiculous.
yeah.
Pay attention.
I watched the first 20 minutes of his speech at the RNC just because it was just so much going on. I was like, I'm tuning into this. I just
Yeah.
need to see what's going on. And the first 20 minutes or so, he was like there. And then I fell asleep listening to it, and I woke up a couple times.
It was
And
a
I woke
different
up
person.
to just like, I was like, what the fuck? He did this one thing. It was so funny. It wasn't funny. One of the men who died, the guy who died protecting his family.
Yeah.
I guess he was a fireman, and they had a bust of his jacket up there, and then his helmet
Yeah.
his fire helmet, and like Trump walked over to it, and it was obviously that he was supposed to go over there and like have a moment and a picture up with
Like
it.
a moment of silence or something.
Yeah.
right?
And he
I didn't
walked-
watch.
He walked over to it, and he was just like looking at it, and he was like, he started like touching it. He was like touching the bus. He was like, and then he like just sweetly kissed the helmet. I was like, yo, this guy's gonna fucking win.
Yeah.
There is no way. But now, who knows? Now they got the DNC money machines rolling. So who
Yeah.
knows?
No, I just know that I do kind of side with George Carlin on that. This country was bought and paid for a long time ago.
By who?
The powers that be, man, they're just shuffling around. You know, a little blue this year, a little red this year, a little blue this year, a little red this year. It's just, I think that when I actually equate it to like, I'm a huge like poker player.
Uh huh.
If I go play at the casinos, I know that it's rigged for the house to win
Yep.
Yeah.
because it's higher up. That's how it goes. But if I play a house game, I
Yeah.
have more of a chance of actually knowing the people I'm playing with. I have a
Mhm.
chance of actually making a profit or something happen.
Yeah.
So I consider just the more and more up the line you go with politics, it's all a rigged. It's just the house wins.
Yeah.
The house
Yep.
always wins no matter what. So I mean, the more and more like you go in that direction, and I'm more of like a social libertarian guy.
Mhm.
I'm more just that route.
Yeah.
Shout out Gnome. Can't pronounce your last name, Chomsky.
Chomsky.
Chompy Chomp.
I've already given my endorsement. I've already given the John Bass podcast endorsement to Robert Kennedy.
There you go.
Giving it to Robert Kennedy like most podcasters have given their paving the way, John.
Hot take.
Hot take.
No, actually, I'm just doing it because he's the most anti-war candidate, and that's
There you go.
He
that's
is.
if you fucking love Jesus or whatever religion, you can't be like, yeah, let's go do war.
Well, that's how I look at
You can't.
that
It's
level
illegal.
of politics is just find the topic that you're most passionate about and vote that way because you're going to make a bad choice no matter who you vote for.
Yeah, he does have some weird things about vaccines, and every time I try to take up for him, everyone's like, he's crazy. But
He
I'm
has
like,
been vaccinated though.
he's vexed and varnished. What is it? Vexed and
Vexed and varnished.
No, that's
Welcome
it now.
to Vexed and Varnish.
Vigilant.
Vexed and Vigilant.
vexed for
And my name's Michael.
Michael and Jim with vexed and varnished.
Michael and Jim.
Dude,
Is this The Office?
no. So you guys are on, once again, can you tell everybody where to find you guys?
Yeah, Spotify,
Spotify,
Apple Music,
Apple Music,
I mean Apple
Instagram.
Podcast, and Instagram, Vex.Vigilant.
Yep.
vex.vigilant.
And
I'm
we
gonna
have all the
follow it.
links there. Yes, please.
Mhm.
And we will follow. You got a Bassy boy?
I just have my Instagram account, and I post all my podcast and comedy stuff through
But
there.
your tag is really long. Cowboys butts drive me nuts
Uh-huh.
is a really long title for your Instagram.
It is. Damn it. I didn't know you knew about that one.
That's my private account.
And I guess this will be on YouTube.
Oh, this one, yeah. I guess you're putting it on YouTube.
I'll put
for
okay.
us.
How about this? I'll put the video on YouTube. You guys put out the audio.
Yeah, you just give us the audio,
Yep,
and
yeah.
he'll
MP3?
put it together.
Yeah, whatever works. I can.
I mean,
use
we'll have
any-
the
Wave?
YouTube version. Yes, a wave, please.
Do you want? Wait, they're getting. Do you want me to? We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
We've got. I think the camera died. Or
The camera died an hour ago.
no, it's still going, but it only has 2 hours. Or I have to change the car. We're getting right at 2
Oh
hours.
yeah,
Okay.
we're at 150.
Ooh,
Can't read it.
Well,
Thank you guys for coming out. Can we get in
Thank
close
you.
so we can do a thumbnail?
Hold on, I gotta move.
Dude, it was good talking to you guys.
Good
I feel
talking.
uplifted. Hey,
sorry, John, if I pressured you to talk.
No.
I was
Wait,
just wanted you to be
is all the
included.
cuss? Here's what I'll give you the 3 separate audio files. So if you need to beep things out, because I feel like you guys might have like a.
I gotta figure out what
I think
level-
what we're gonna do probably. We actually more like we'll bleep out people's like names, addresses if they're
Yeah.
brought up. That we'll bleep out for safety. Like if it's like, hey, you mentioned someone's street they live on. Bleep. Cussing though, we'll just let people know.
I would say we'll put a. This is a bit
Yeah,
different
just
than
be
the
like-
last couple.
because we want people to be honest. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to have people on and then be like, we had to bleep out 90% of what you said. No, that
Yeah.
would defeat the purpose of what
Yeah.
we're doing. So
if you want to bleep it out though,
Nah.
and if you
No.
want to take
we'll,
out
we'll
the
probably just say
mildly
hey,
racist Facebook Marketplace things I have.
we may cut some of that.
we might cut around some
We
stuff,
will cut some
and we'll
of
let
that.
you know. Well, how about this? We'll send you the finished
Yeah,
cut
I would say
we've
I'll
done,
send you a finished cut
Okay,
and,
okay.
we'll go from there.
and get the.
I'm gonna upload it as is probably just
That's fine
because.
with me.
This will be the extended cut. You can
Yeah.
go to the extended
Go
cut,
subscribe
and
to
we'll
his
have our
Patreon.
version.
Actually, you know what?
It
I
will
think
Put it on Patreon.
I think I'm going to
Yeah.
put those two that were really rough. I'm putting those on Patreon.
Oh yeah,
I think I'm just going to leave those on. So that's incentive. Sign up for the Patreon. I'll have details in the notes.
Yeah.
awesome.
But thank you guys for coming on. We should
Thanks
do this
for
again
having us.
sometime. We
Let's
need to
do
have
it.
we need a part 2 or
So
There we go.
we need to get
yeah.
Cody back in here.
we'll do all of us. We'll do. a
Wait, is
round
Cody
table.
on the podcast too?
He's
gonna
going to
on.
be.
Is Cody's not a really religious guy, is
He
he?
used to be.
He used to be?
He's become more Gnostic and paganistic in his ways.
Mm.
He likes the satanic truffle butter, stuff like this that he's all into.
I'm excited.
So we're gonna have him on for why no Gnostic texts in the Bible, why the canon is the way that it is. So we're gonna have a talk with him
Interesting.
about the inerrancy of Scripture
Mhm.
because he is so opposed to it. We thought, hey, we'll have somebody on that, could
Authentic view.
challenge. Yeah.
Dude, it's hard. You don't want to go toe to toe with some Bible scholars. You'll get fucking drilled.
Oh, yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. I can't even remember the Bible verses. Just Paul was like, "Hey, don't believe everything you hear." That's kind of what Paul said. Jesus was like, "Hey, love everybody." Satan was like,
Well, yeah, Satan was basically like, yeah, eat from the tree. And then he was like, surprise, I took the throne. You
Yeah.
ate, you did what I wanted you to do. You don't get anything. I get earth.
"What's that movie?"
Sneaky snake.
Zayo actually sampled some of the audio from it on When Blood and Fire.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
don't remember
movie
the
with
movie.
Viggo Mortensen, Christopher Walken, and
Oh, Prophecy? Prophecy.
that movie is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
It's good too. That's such a good movie. And there's that weird part where like Viggo Mortensen's talking to the main character in the movie, the people that are trying to defeat Gabriel,
Yeah.
played by.
By Christopher Walken.
It's a crazy movie.
What
Christopher Walken.
Wait, yeah,
I'm
plays-
sold.
Dude, he has this thing where he goes, God fell in love with a bunch of monkeys. Like he has this whole monologue about
Yeah.
calling like humanity a bunch of monkeys.
Gabriel
and
is
everything
like
that.
mad
It's
at
insane.
humanity.
Yeah.
I'm sold. This sounds great.
Dude,
they
it's
are. They had
great.
a whole horror.
good
He's
movie.
in 3.
Wow,
Christopher Walken's
okay.
in 1, 2, and 3 of these random religious '90s horror movies
Yeah.
Huh.
that
You'll
came
have to
out
check it
that
out.
are
Prophecy rules.
prophecy, dude. the
Um,
first one in particular is like crazy.
Yeah,
good.
I don't think I ever
Crazy
saw the
good.
second or
I
third
saw
one.
second and third. It's basically just Christopher Walken needed to pay for a house. or
Oh
something.
yeah. The
Like,
the there's one scene where they're talking. So Viggo Mortensen plays Satan, and Lucifer, and he comes to help people because he says that one hell is enough, and he says if Gabriel succeeds, there'll be 2, and he was like, I can't have that.
he's
Basically,
like he's top dog.
he's like, yeah,
no,
I'm
I
the
get it.
bad guy. Fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
But there's this scene where he's talking to the like protagonist, or the main character of the movie. It's like a mom and her
It's a
kid.
mom and a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
She's like a school teacher. or
very
something like
weird.
that.
Yeah, very simple. And he's talking to him, but he has this moment where he almost almost has a lapse in judgment and almost like attacks them. He's like, it's terrifying. He's like, yo, it's pretty cool movie, dude.
And then he
Should
played
check it out.
Aragorn.
Oh gosh.
What?
And
Not all that glitters is gold, my friend.
shout out Shrek 2,
Shout out.
best
Shrek.
of the Shrek universe.
Did they say that in Shrek too?
No, that's the song in the first one, but
Not all that glitters is gold.
yeah,
That's an Aragorn line from the trilogy.
is it really?
Uh huh. He may
it
say it a
Aragorn? I
little
thought it-
different.
Did he
I thought it
just
was a
teach me
dwarf.
You know, you could be right.
Lord
Somebody
of the
said it.
Rings?
You're also a Lord of the Rings scholar. I
I'm
just
a
got
big
stuff.
Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah,
too.
way more than I am.
Huge Lord. But I think you just either you taught me. I'm not going to try to spin that. Like you reminded me, but that's my like prideful nerd being like you reminded me that's in there. It's like no, you just taught me something. I completely
Pretty
forgot
sure-
or like,
unless-
didn't know.
I'm pretty sure he says that, but I don't know. I don't know which one it was though.
My wife would know because she gets mad at everybody that has it on their car because there's another half to the quote, and she likes the other half better.
Dude, we're at 2 hours and 4 minutes. I don't know how the camera's still going because it said 2 hours when I started it, but
Wow, 2-hour podcast, our longest one yet.
Yep.
hell yeah.
Boom.
Thank you
Yes,
guys for
sir.
coming. Matt
for
and
having
John, Vexed and Vigilant,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
everywhere you find podcasts.
That's right.
John Bass Podcast. This is episode 44.
Wow.
And watch out for Patreon. Thank you guys for coming. Let's do it again.
Let's do it.
If you guys are free, there's a show at there's a show downtown.
Oh,
Comedy
really?
show tonight. Starts
Going
at
tonight?
8. Yeah.
I'll see if I can get out. My
Do
wife
it.
might be like, get
Escape.
home now.
Yeah, you
got
better.
4 kids.
Yeah,
We'll
Yeah,
see.
you do have children.
You're gonna get. She's gonna be like.